Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Doctor Who Reviews. Let's get weird, because this serial, Gonzo doesn't do it justice as a description.
Confusing bullshit.
Somehow, Kat, you've gone beyond Gonzo with this one.
We've gone a level beyond Gonzo. I call it Super Gonzo 2.
And yet it's finally me this time. I managed to pick the accidentally racist one.
You can never
It's
poke
not
fun.
accidentally racist. It's being racist on purpose.
You can never poke fun at me for doing that again.
Oh, I'm still going to. I mean, you can't stop me. It's just now you can clap back at me.
You can never poke fun at me for that again.
You think you can control me. Every single time you say no, it just makes me want to do it more. And reverse psychology doesn't work.
Gosh darn.
You're fucked.
So, I don't deny it. So anyway, Ghostlight then, with my two usual co-hosts. Firstly, to my virtual left, the only light he's interested in is the light projected off of a mirror. It's Freezing Inferno.
You're goddamn right.
And to my virtual right, she'll never be scared of the dark. It's Concave Usurper, also known as Cat.
Well, yes. I will never be scared of the dark because I realized I'm worse than the things that are in the darkness. You want to fear something? Fear her.
Oh, is that what you're picking next?
It's not her choice next week.
No, I have
Actually,
taste.
hang on.
So, this is a Sylvester McCoy story, and we've done Sylvester McCoy stories before, but not quite to the level of this one.
So,
You're welcome.
This is interesting. This story. It's dense, shall we say. There's a lot going on in it, some of which is obscured by various factors, but there's enough there that, for instance, Kat got a pretty good reading out of it, which is one I agree with. Yep. I found a certain thematic resonance in there. I don't know what Brainiac found yet, but we'll find out as the podcast goes, and all of it, I would like if I made a quote Tardis Wiki, not truly villainous, but there's an interesting quote here that sort of sums up how I feel about this, and I quote, "This story is infamous for being incredibly confusing, with many important plot elements only alluded to or suggested via metaphor. This was an intentional act on the part of the writer, who was later quoted as stating a belief that all drama is more satisfying if not handed to the viewer on a plate." End quote. So, I like that. It's going to be a little funny later when we get to
seems like
the
a bit of a cop-out to me. I mean, yeah, all right. Not presenting all the answers is one thing. Intention writing is confusing and difficult to follow. That's something else.
It's a difficult
I dig it.
follow. It's just you had to get to the third episode to understand what the hell was going on.
Yeah. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
No, I kind of dig that. It kind of reminds me of the way David Lynch feels about his own work, which is he doesn't want to explain it either. He wants you to think about what he put on screen and figure it out for yourself. That's his mentality.
Kiss from a Rose. Apparently, he
Seal
refuses to ever talk about what that song means.
That's Queen of Bohemian Rhapsody.
That's something. Okay, So, David Lynch, Kiss from a Rose, which I associate forever with Joel Schumacher's Batman Forever now.
Yeah.
Till the end of time.
It is in that film.
It's just, it is a song from that film, yeah. And yeah,
Makes
so
about as much sense as Batman Forever.
Batman Forever isn't that as dense as Ghostlight.
I will go to
Well,
bat for Batman
but,
Forever.
I will go to bat for Batman Forever too.
I don't think there's anything as dense as Ghostlight is.
I'm sure there are some weird fucking foreign films out there, or David Lynchian bullshit. Like, watch Mulholland Drive and try to figure that shit out.
I was gonna say because I've just wrestled with Mike put in another chat. Sorry, but I was going to say that there are more dense things than Ghostlight, and Mulholland Drive is one of them.
Yes.
Never seen it.
It's an interesting movie. I've only seen it once, so I really should go back and watch it again. But it's just oh God. No, I'm not even gonna spoil that, but it's funny in the context of Doctor Who. If you see the movie,
Honestly, I don't think I've ever seen an actual David Lynch film, ever.
to be honest, the only two I've seen are Mulholland Drive and the '80s Dune movie.
That's about enough.
Oh, he did Dune. Okay.
That's about all you need to watch. Is those two films.
Yeah, he kind of got fucked over with Dune, and it's not entirely his cut, and a bunch of bullshit.
Oh no, he got Justice League.
He got Justice League, yeah. So that's something. But why don't we talk about the dents?
Here's the thing: Justice League is awful.
Uh,
I'm sure there's somebody who actually likes Dune.
Dune is weird. It's pretty gonzo.
Or you say Justice League is awful. Oh, what's that angry mob I can hear outside my door with torches and pitchforks?
Why do you think I said Justice League was awful?
Listen. At least Zack Snyder's added, themes. You can argue whether or not they're good, but they're themes.
He's added memes too. We live in a society.
We live in a society.
Is the theme that it's a bad movie? Because it is.
Yeah. The theme is how can we rip off the Avengers but not be as good as the Avengers?
And the second theme is how can we cram all the most popular stories of Superman into exactly 2 movies? You can't.
The theme is oh hey. The theme is oh hey. It turns out Cyborg actually did have a plot.
Okay, so back to Ghostlight then.
Why Cyborg?
Let's talk about Ghostlight.
Put him in the Teen okay, Ghostlight.
So back to Ghostlight then. So right off the bat, things just get extremely creepy. We've got this very atmospheric old house. We've got this housekeeper woman in black and it's in black and white, wearing black. She's accompanied by this equally creepy looking maid, and they put this dinner tray under a door, and something yanks it out from their hands.
Dun, dun, dun.
Hello, here's dinner in the Times for you.
So already I'm creeped out. And then things get worse when a character I really don't like arrives at the house.
Oh, who's this?
The Reverend Ernest Matthews, Trev the Rev.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not a great
Trev
guy.
the Rev is not a great character.
No.
He sure isn't.
But he's
If
here at the
anybody
house.
out there, it's not because he's a reverend, it's because he has asshole beliefs and is an asshole to everybody else.
Yeah. We'll
Just
go with
saying.
that. It's not the religion thing, it's very much him as a character.
Well, okay, it's partially the religion thing, but it's not the religion itself. Essentially, he does not believe in evolution, and he's a real asshole about it.
This will be a big theme of the story.
It will.
Yes.
Anyway, he's turned up at the house earlier than he was expected, so the staff aren't ready for him. So I think he's sent to a room to wait for the master of the house, who isn't named at this point. And then other guests start to arrive, but not the conventional way. Here's the Tardis.
Hooray!
And the TARDIS materialises inside Chauncey the Baby Ghost's bedroom from Luigi's Mansion.
My God.
Tell me it's not similar. Tell me it's not similar.
It is.
I don't know. I never played the game.
It's got a
I
rocking
can safely
horse.
say it is.
There's toys. All right, the lab equipment wasn't in the baby's room, but or the abacus.
Also,
but other than that, it's pretty much is.
This is also part of a sort of test for Ace, where she's the one who goes out and says what's around here and has to discern her surroundings, and where they are, when they are, all that stuff. It's neat.
Although the best part about this entire scene is that the doctor immediately gets on that rocking horse and starts rocking back and forth.
It's so good.
It's like Ace is in the front of the scene, like messing with all this stuff, trying to figure out what this lab equipment's for. He just seeing the doctor in the back slowly rocking back.
It's amazing. The Doctor did Zero Escape 15 years before Zero Escape.
Oh my god.
You know what I'm
Okay,
referring to. You know what I'm referring to.
I've literally only played the first Zero Escape game.
Okay, you don't then. It's in the second one.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've only played part of the
But now
second one.
you've made me think of. I know the general idea of Zero Escape, and the thought of McCoy in Zero Escape is terrifying.
Yes, it is.
Oh God,
Yes,
yeah.
it is. I apologise for that image in your head.
Speaking of terrifying, this sure is a real spooky house.
Yeah.
Look at all this, like, there's like stuffed birds and mounted heads on the walls and shit.
Look at that rocking horse. Its eye just started glowing. Wait, what?
It wasn't the rocking horse's eyes that started glowing.
I thought it did.
Ostrich,
One of the birds' heads
emu,
starts
or...
glowing later on, but
I think it's an emu. I'm pretty sure it's a stuffed emu.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that the horse's eye does glow at one point. But
I don't remember that. I just remember the
now
emu's
you mentioned, Jerry, that Ace was being tested.
Uh-huh.
Would this have tied in by any chance with the Cartmel master plan?
Oh, we're gonna bring this shit up?
Well, I think we have to, don't we?
Well, do you want to mention the little factoid about this story? Or
I don't know about the
think you
factoid.
you know about the factoids?
I know very little about the Cartmel master plan.
No, not that. That.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Oh yeah, even I know about that.
Yeah, you go ahead and just mention that.
Okay. So, the original first draft, or pitch, or whatever, protoplasm of an idea, a little idea seed in the head of writer Mark Platt regarding the story, was that the house would actually be on Gallifrey. And it would be the Doctor's ancestral home called Lungbarrow. Now, for those of you who know this Cartmel Masterplan bullshit that Rain just mentioned, Lungbarrow actually eventually was a novel in the late 90s that did go back to the Doctor's ancestral home, Lungbarrow, blah, 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 and also had major revelations about his role in Time Lord history.
And looms.
Looms! We're not going to get into looms, but
No, we are not. Looms are better up consigned to history.
I need to quote from the wiki again on this.
However, we'll get into looms. Just basically know that they were how the Time Lords apparently reproduced at one point. And that's all you need to know.
Okay.
They were literally loomed into existence, yes.
Quote Tardis Wiki. The story evolved out of an earlier rejected script entitled Lungbarrow. It was to be set on Gallifrey in the Doctor's ancestral home and deal with the Doctor's past. And this is the real funny sentence. But producer John Nathan Turner felt it revealed too much of the Doctor's origin.
Laughs in timeless children.
Not a goddamn original bone in his fucking body.
And here's where I would like to link an image from yesterday, everyone.
Oh, God.
Oh boy.
Psychic!
Damn you, Nostradamus!
I see the future.
You've taken
You know what? Just to make sure that Krista gets her moment. Yeah! Revealing too much of the Doctor's origins. It would be a shame if someone wrote an episode doing that, Chibnall.
You basically said it beforehand, but so I linked the thing, but yeah.
Laughs in timeless children.
Krista gets her moment. And now Krista gets her second moment, as I tell you to buy Back to the 11th Hour by Krista McTeer, available now on Amazon.com.
Yes, go do that.
So the Cartmel Master Plan, short version, it was added to add an air of mystery and unknowability to the Doctor's origins at this time, which they never could have pulled the gun on TV because, well, look what fucking happened last year when they did finally pull the trigger on that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mass hysteria, cats and dogs living together.
Exactly. But
And me, cat, also barking like a dog because.
the doctor testing Ace, though, testing her capability, is also sort of part of an eventual story that would have been made if they hadn't canned the show in 1989. And that plot line being that Ace would go to Gallifrey to study to become a time lady.
I
So, make of that what you will.
I have so many thoughts about that whole scrapped idea because what
Exactly.
anyway, back to the story we should be talking about, which is Ghostlight then. The staff will leave the house.
I don't know if I can recover from that.
I
I need a
apologize.
moment.
The staff will leave the house because they do not want to be caught in there when night falls, night being 6 o'clock. And right on cue, the clock chimes 6, the wall opens and out comes these 4 maids.
Convenient.
And I don't know what is going on with these maids. And spoiler alert, they are not actually explained at all.
I think we can hazard a bit of a guess, given the context of what characters have done to other characters
Well, at first
story.
I thought they were vampires.
Ah.
Because they were moving in lockstep. They only came out at night.
The story is very Dracula, though, isn't it? I mean, oh no, don't stay here at night because bad shit's gonna happen.
Although I said only come out at night, I just realised there is actually a small error here in that the maid with the tray, who's one of the 4, is out before 6 to give the tray to the thing behind the door.
Oops.
Whoops.
So we should mention that Ace says she doesn't like haunted houses, and that she's been in one too many because this place obviously is creepy. The atmosphere's kind of freaking her out. And then they find something on the ground.
A metal snuff box, specifically, is on the floor. It has initials on it that actually say RFC.
Yeah. And
that's not the main problem that we have with this, though. It's the fact that the doctor scans it and it's radioactive. That's a problem.
Very much
That
a
is
problem.
something. Before we can solve that problem, there's some guy with a spear here.
It's a hunter.
Oh boy.
And he's certainly craven.
Well, not even just a hunter. He's an explorer.
Not even just an explorer. He's a colonialist. Wait, too far?
No, because it's Victorian England, so...
Yeah.
I will say, this character, I don't mind him.
Interesting.
There's quite the eclectic cast of characters in this.
Yeah.
And very few of them are actually likeable, but...
Anyway,
there are reasons he acts the way he does, but we can't get into them until later.
Yeah.
Well, we can get into them pretty quickly, I think. But before that,
we can't get into them until later.
Yeah, she's right. But this hunter then, he's very interested in the box. The initials, Ace originally thinks it might stand for Royal Flying Corps. Not a bad guess. I thought it might be the same thing. But the hunter says that it actually stands for Redfer's Fen Cooper. It's a bit of a strange name to pronounce. Redfer's Fen Cooper.
This guy's looking for Redvers. And he just sort of takes the snuff box and throws it in his pocket. Radiation bullshit be damned.
He also refers to that braggart, Josiah Samuel Smith.
Ooh, now whom could that be?
Well, we're about to meet Mr. Smith. Because he is seen, well, he's not seen, he's heard instructing a young lady to greet his guests in the house. Now, I thought this was his wife at first.
Actually, his ward.
Yeah, it isn't his wife.
Gwendolyn,
yeah.
we'll find out her last name later, but Anyway, the priest downstairs, the Reverend downstairs, is all pissed off. He's like, "How dare you keep me waiting so long? I'm outraged." Oh,
Yeah.
high and mighty bullshit.
Yeah, sounds like most of the priests that I've met before.
Yeah.
I was going to say it sounds like
So,
Twitter.
so Gwendolyn goes to introduce
both.
herself to him, and apologize for Mr. Josiah Smith's lateness and all that. And meanwhile, the Doctor and Ace are still with Redver as he's going around, and well, he seems like a pretty
Well,
neat guy.
you skipped an important thing there. Yeah, we
Oh,
find
I
out
have.
the hunter is Redfer's.
Well, that's a bit of a reveal in the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get to that reveal because it's a good reveal. But yeah, before we reveal that, we also reveal this hunter is to put it kindly, kind of missing a couple of marbles because he pulls out
This
his
fucking rocker.
Yeah.
he pulls out a fucking rifle, a fucking hunting rifle. And he starts talking about light, and he's pointing the gun at the Doctor and this shit.
Yeah.
Hey, Rainiac,
Oh.
what calms this guy down? Let's talk about the scene.
Is it the
Let's
stealth
talk about
box?
No. He's aiming the gun at the Doctor. The Doctor ducks out of the way, and what does the man see?
Oh,
that
he sees
stops
his
him in
reflection
tracks?
in a mirror, and that's how you know it's Redfer's.
It's not the mirror, it's actually the window to the
It's
outside,
a
but yes.
it's a
he sees his
window.
reflection.
But it's still a reflection, and that's still a Doctor Who mirror.
I'm so happy he cut out right then.
Yeah.
Son of a bit.
You clipped your mic too much there.
Got too excited about the mirrors.
That is a Doctor Who mirror alert. Doctor Who mirror alert. Whoop 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 whoop. Thank you, soundboard. And this is also how we find out because he sees his own reflection. And he's like, "Oh, Redford's old chap, there you are. By God, you look pale, man."
Yeah.
And this is when the maids come in and drag him off.
And nearly break his arm in the process.
And Ace protests, but then we meet another servant of the house, a man named Nimrod.
A hunchback butler? What is this? Rocky Horror? Actually, now that I think about it, a lot of this is Rocky Horror, but anyway.
Yeah, actually. I understand it about as much as I did Rocky Horror, so.
So you're right. Anyway, the Redford is taken away by the housekeeper and one of the maids. This butler, as you say, Nimrod, interesting character, I think.
Interesting name.
I just want to say this story is not nearly gay enough to be Rocky Horror.
Also very true.
Yes, there are no sweet transvestites from Transylvania, that's for sure.
There are plenty of time warps, though.
Hey, nice.
As long as Tim Curry stays far, far away. Because I am afraid of that man, thanks to a certain monster clown.
It's okay. I'll send you a clip that'll make you immediately unafraid of him. It's fantastic.
Is it going to be Nigel Thornberry doing the thing with his hands?
No. It more has to do with phrase.
Oh yes, that famous line from from Red Alert 3.
That's also very good.
That's a fantastic one.
I mean, it's Tim Curry. Everything he does is good.
Yeah.
Unless it's traumatizing me at a young age. But,
Yeah, all right, fair enough. But
and me too. I was also traumatized.
Yes.
But not as much as him because I was actually able to see the new It movie. So.
Oh, I can watch the new ones. I just don't like the old one. That's what I mean.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. The new ones are good. The old one is too much.
So we get an interesting scene now where the Doctor and Ace have gone downstairs,
Yes.
Yeah.
Ace is berated for not wearing appropriate clothing because Victorian England, but the Reverend mistakes the Doctor for Josiah.
Oh, okay. So there's some good lines here. First, I want to highlight what the Reverend says. He points at Ace and he's mocking the idea of evolution. Oh, perhaps she'll evolve into a young lady.
Yeah.
Which is funny because of things that happen later in the episode. But then we get the brilliant McCoy line, which... Do you have that quote up, Brainiac?
Frez, I hate to tell you, but the Reverend's line right then, that was actually part of the plot.
Yeah.
What?
She'll evolve into a young lady.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was alluding to things.
No, yeah, I'm just saying that's an important thing to let you know what's going on later on.
Yeah, it's a clue.
That's one of his hints. That's one of the dude's
Well,
hints.
where's this McCoy line then that you love?
Yes.
Oh God. Okay, hang on. I'll get the transcript up. I want to quote it. Well, okay. Where is it?
Don't think I didn't catch that shade. I want to quote it well, as if we can't quote it well.
Yeah. Okay. As I say, the Reverend thinks the Doctor's Josiah. He's like, well, now then. And the Doctor's is like, let me guess. My theories appall you. My heresies outrage you. I never answer letters, and you don't like my tie.
It is interesting how he basically doesn't deny being Josiah at first.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, he's trying to figure out what's going on and what's the easiest way to do it, but to have people reveal information to you.
And it's actually Gwendolyn that has to correct him.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the Reverend for a while doesn't take the hint.
Until Josiah walks in.
He's still ranting, he's still raving, but then the real Josiah turns up, and we immediately know something is not right with this guy.
Yeah.
Something's up here because he's wearing dark glasses indoors.
I wear my sunglasses at night.
You fucking beat me to it, cat. I was just about to go. Don't be afraid of the guy in shades. Oh no. We're on the same trolling wavelength at this point, and I kind of love it, but I'm also kind of afraid.
But this is our villain
it's
of the
okay
piece.
because do you remember what I told you about me and my friend Chris?
Yeah.
How we became so in sync that one of our other friends managed to give us a name for this?
Uh-huh.
Do you remember what it was?
What was it?
That we were dolphins.
Oh yeah.
For those who might not remember or know this, Frez has no love for Echo the Dolphin.
He does have love for Echo the Dolphin, that fucking video game.
Also a fun fact, that was one of the very first video games I've ever gotten to play.
Oh.
Weep for me.
I love how this podcast is just all about the traumatizing shit from our childhood.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, Rain, what scared the shit out of you when you were 8?
Oh, I'm not stupid enough to tell you.
It's okay. We're all here in order to be able to help each other. That's what group therapy is for.
Yeah, I'm really going to fall for that.
Yeah.
So Josiah shows up and he has this interesting big speech about, he's talking about natural selection, evolution, all that stuff. And he mentions moths adapting to smoke, which is one of the few things I can vividly remember learning about in high school biology. As you know, a natural sort of defense, evolution.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, so that's neat. That made me remember, I know about that. That's the thing. The way that the moth's scales got darker to match the whole smoky ash residue in Victorian England so that predators couldn't get it.
Yep. Basically, Josiah and the Reverend have a big discussion about creationism versus evolution.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, this is also the entire theme of this serial, apparently.
Yeah, they don't lay it out for you, but this is the thing.
There you go.
The natural order versus evolution.
And the Game of Thrones people would have you think that themes are for 8th grade book reports.
We don't talk about
I
the
mean,
final
they
series of
are
Game of
because
Thrones.
I absolutely hated that part of whenever I was doing English class. But yeah,
Everyone knows
they
Game of
exist.
Thrones ended with a long night, and you can't convince me otherwise. That was it. Credits rolled. Arya killed the Night King. End.
Anyway, hey, what's Redver's up to? Oh, he's in a straitjacket. And his snuff box is emitting bright light that's making him scream in terror.
Yeah, can we give a
The
shout out
dead
to the
lights run. Pennywise is coming.
Can we give a shout out
fuck.
to the actor here? This is a fantastic scream.
It
Good
is.
shit.
He really gives you the impression this poor man is in absolute terror for his life.
And Ace is the one who goes out because Gwendolyn has taken her upstairs to change out of her. Well, it's a modern 1989 outfit, but it's obviously scandalous for Victorian times because
You can see her shoulders. Oh no!
This is a
It's
common
like every
trope.
single public school I ever went to.
They do this even in modern Who when they go back to Victorian times. I don't like it, but I understand it. Let's move on.
It's like I can understand it because back then values were different. Okay, fine. It's when it happens today that it's annoying because we've evolved as people. Ha ha ha.
I mean,
Fun.
good
Anyway,
God, certain
Ace and
Victorians were so British they would cover up the legs of their tables.
Yeah. Oh my god. So Ace and Gwendolyn now are wearing like fancy dinner jackets.
Oh, can we just talk about these
not
outfits?
just fancy dinner jackets. They have gone dressed up to the nines in a full suit.
They look dapper as hell, these two girls.
They are dapper as hell, and this is the outfit. These are the outfits Ace and Gwendolyn rush to find out why the fuck Redvers is screaming in agony.
Mm-hmm.
So they go check him out, and they open the door, and the light is there, and the doctor shields Ace's eyes. It's like, don't look at it. It's too bright.
Pretend it's Raiders of the Lost Ark. Don't look at the light. Anyway,
Marcellus Wallace's soul.
Redford's face does not melt, but his hair does turn white. And the poor man is temporarily blinded. And some weird things happen here, which are never really truly explained. So at one point, when they're getting the door open, the housekeeper's got a candle she's holding, and it blinds Josiah.
He's
That
sensitive
one,
to light.
I can explain away that one easily, but I can't do it right now.
Okay, well, when we get to the relevant bit, please explain that one away.
Yeah.
The housekeeper grabs Ace by the hair. Just
Well, that's because she's a bitch.
Yeah,
so.
she is a bitch. Just manhandles, or I suppose woman handles her, just throws it into the dining room. And yeah, as I say, his hair's turned completely white and he can't see temporarily. So just a lot of strange things going on. And it gets stranger because after helping to see to poor old Redford's, Nimrod the butler is here in a spaceship.
Yeah! I mean, it wouldn't be Doctor Who without some sci-fi bullshit. Unless, of course, we're talking about a pure historical.
And also in the dialogue, the Doctor calls him a Neanderthal. And you think, oh, is he being rude? Like, oh, he looks like primitive. No, he is a primitive.
No, he actually is.
He is a primitive.
Well, he's actually I don't know, however many million years ago Neanderthal Man existed. I don't know off the top of my head, but he actually is.
He's a caveman.
From that time.
He is a caveman.
He's a caveman. He's a caveman who's now a butler in Victorian England.
And can I just say, I like the makeup they did for him.
It's good.
Yeah.
He looks the part well.
Mm-hmm.
But then he gets clobbered from behind.
Yeah, so he's in this spaceship under the house, and we get the slasher cam where it's POV shot of whoever attacks him, sneaking up and conking him out over the head. Whomever it be.
Whomever indeed.
And so everyone's at dinner, and then the phone rings, and the Reverend's just like, "Fertile telephonic machines, how dare they interrupt our dinner?"
He's very old-fashioned, the Reverend, and not in a good way.
So Josiah picks up the telephone. He's like, "Nimrod, I told you not to call me. Nimrod, hello." Obviously some shit has gone down there.
Well, yeah, because there's a voice that on the line that says, "I escaped," or something like that.
Oh, so it's the
Yeah.
master.
So.
Yeah.
And it's right around here that we get Ace realizing where they are and not being happy about it.
We're in Gabriel Chase.
What the hell
Yes.
is Gabriel Chase?
It's the house they're in.
It's also the house that Ace entered during her youth, on a dare, apparently,
In
which
1983, yeah.
terrified her incredibly.
And
So-
she is furious at the doctor for this.
Yeah.
You
So,
tricked me.
the
This is Perivale.
In 1983, which is 100 years after this story is set, they're in 1883, a young Ace is going to break into this house on a dare, and she has a sense of some sort of lingering force of alien evil. So she apparently she must tell the doctor the story off screen, and so the doctor hops back in the Tardis to 1883 and brings her here,
Kind of a dick
You know.
move.
As you do.
as you do,
Kind of a dick move.
because he wants to know about the power, and he also wants her to confront it. But she's not happy. She's pissed, and she would be. And we get another great scene between Ace and the Doctor.
It felt a little too dramatic for me, but maybe that's just, my feelings personally.
Oh. Oh, yeah. So, Ace asks the Doctor, "Don't you have things that you hate?" And the Doctor gets this line, "I can't stand burnt toast. I loathe bus stations, terrible places full of lost luggage and lost souls. And then there's unrequited love and tyranny and cruelty. We all have a universe of our own terrors to face."
Yes. It's very interesting because, on the one hand, he seems quite cruel here because Ace has been trying to leave the house a couple of times at this point. She does not want to face this place, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I suppose it's part of the test that he's setting her. But it just seems cruel. Maybe he's trying to help her. Maybe it's like face your fears and that kind of thing. But and I think actually the novelization does explain that's exactly what he's trying to do.
Which, that makes sense for their relationship at
Yeah.
the time.
Yep. Oh, by the way, we forgot to mention this, but Curse of Fenric is actually right after this serial,
Yep.
so that may help explain a little bit of it.
The Doctor
Yeah.
being manipulative towards his companion? No, never.
No, never. But you can check the Curse of Fenric podcast if you want to see more about that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh, by the way,
we'll shotgun
this
through a
is
couple of
Intercut.
scenes here.
By the way, this is Intercut here, but the Reverend is talking with Josiah Chase about this evolution bullshit, and then he gets chloroformed,
As you do.
as you do.
Isn't that
So
a bit
I
later on, the
just want-
chloroform?
No, I've got it right around here on my notes. So
Okay, I thought that was in part 2, but
No, it's in this one because he passes out before they get to part 2.
And then Ace drops some real heavy shit. In 1983, she had a friend named Manisha. They hung around together. They dared each other, did all sorts of stupid shit. And then she says that white kids firebombed Manisha's flat.
yep.
So, yeah. The implication being that Ace's best friend when she was 13 burned to death via a hate crime
Yeah, for
Yeah.
kids.
for kids. And so that made Ace, in her anger and grief, that's when she broke into the ruined Gabriel Chase in 1983 and sensed this presence, this lingering evil, whatever the fuck.
Yeah. It
Is
doesn't
this when
state
she
outright.
tells the story about her friend? Because at this point, it was still a dare. She
Yeah,
still
she
tried to
tells
say it
the
was a
story about
dare.
her friend.
End of
There's
part 1 is the
more
story about her
part.
friend. That's before she storms off
Yeah.
to look for herself.
There's
Okay.
one more. There's one more part that we don't know.
Yeah. The thing about her friend It's never outright stated that she's died, but that is the implication.
Yeah, it's the implication.
This
They
is
don't actually
horrific.
say it.
A lot of parts of this are horrific.
Yeah. As you know, a 13-year-old girl murdered in a hate crime. Yeah, that's pretty
But
fucking
we have a
horrific.
couple of scenes to shotgun through before we get to the big cliffhanger. So, now that you're right, but I've just checked Tardis wiki. You're right. He is chloroformed.
I have
Yeah.
good news. Her friend was not killed, just wounded.
Okay.
Okay.
You could read either way because it's not stated in the story.
Yeah.
It's not stated within the episodes.
The
But
book
anyway,
says wounded.
Josiah now with no guest to attend to, seeks out the doctor, and he actually offers the doctor money in exchange for his help to do whatever Josiah wants, and the doctor says, "I'm not interested in money."
Josiah specifically offers 5,000
Yeah.
English pounds
Yeah, he says tempting,
To,
but I'm still
help
not interested in
against-
money. So,
to help against his enemy.
and in fairness, why would the doctor be interested in money? That's never been part of his character.
Honestly, it's a pretty funny scene because the doctor is like, "I'm not doing this for money. How much money?" And then as soon as he's told it's 5,000, the doctor's like, "Woo, that's rich for Victorian times."
But I'm still not interested in
But
money.
no, I don't do it for the money.
And so this leads to our cliffhanger. Ace is storming around. She finds an elevator leading down, and Mrs. and the lady in black, the one who tugged her hair, Miss Pritchard,
Mrs. Pritchard, yeah.
locks the elevator behind Ace, trapping her down there. And she wanders around, and she hears this hissing voice, and then she sees lizard people in fancy dress.
Yay!
These two creatures in dinner jackets emerge, and they advance on her as this weird voice makes vaguely threatening statements in her direction.
It calls her Ratkin.
Ratkin, yeah.
And so
Now we should
you know,
mention that the voice is actually the thing that's inside of the room that they gave the tray to. And I'm also going to mention something that Frez pointed out is that the two
Yeah.
costumes for these husks here are from a production of Alice in Wonderland.
What, for real?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Apparently one of them is supposed to be the frog footman and the other one is a fish.
So they were also looking for props of other shows at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty
mean,
much.
I mean, these things are basically here just because, the producer was like, okay, we got to have a little classic monster action, so... And so they were like, okay, let's throw these fucking things here. Part one.
Yeah.
Boom.
I'm okay with it because these things do tie into the overall mystery.
Oh, yeah. So they incorporate them well enough, so they both get your part one monster cliffhanger, but also they're not entirely superfluous. They will add to the mystery and the plot.
Yeah.
So it's great.
So I
And
would
we've
say
got
that
a lot.
part one is your shot, and here comes your chaser.
So part two. This is only 3 parts. They really would have
Thank
loved
God
to
it's
have
only
4
3
to
parts. I don't think I
explain.
could take 4.
They really would have loved 4 to explain every fucking thing, but we get 3.
I think 4 would
This
have been
kind
too
of feels
much.
like a practical joke. Have you guys, I don't know if you guys have this where you guys live, but do you guys have senior pranks at all?
Not really.
Basically, the very last year of your highest level of public school, in our case, they're called seniors. They have a prank that they pull, and it's various different kinds of pranks. Like there was one where they had their principal followed around by a mariachi band all day. Stuff like that.
Oh my god.
We
Now,
had
sometimes
that
they are
once.
bad pranks, but most of the time they tend to be very small ones.
We never had that, but we did have the sixth form once play a prank on assembly, which was not tolerated.
Yeah.
They snuck into the assembly room and put alarm clocks under people's chairs.
Well, the reason I say this is that it's kind of like this one senior prank I heard about, or maybe it was an idea that someone had, where basically you take like these 3 animals. In the one I saw, it was pigs. And you label them 1, 2, and 4. Then you release them into the school.
Oh man,
So people will find 1, 2, and 4 and wonder where the hell 3 went.
Oh my
And then you tie him up in a
God.
carpet and throw him off a bridge.
And it's like, that's all that it reminded me of, was just that whole idea there.
Oh God.
It's like, part 1, 2, and 3, well, guess what? We're going to explain everything in part 4. You just have to go find it.
So, part 2 opens, we got a reprise, and Ace escapes.
So she's the master now.
But also, and I know this really threw you for a loop, Brainiac. You want to talk about this?
Yeah, so
talk about-
Gwendolyn's in her room. She's got this drawer full of beetle and insect specimens.
Wait, hang on. We're just going to skip past everything that happened with Ace?
No, that happens... Oh, have I got that in the wrong order of my notes?
I never wrote it. I never wrote it down.
Let's do
so
the
it must
ace.
be-
Let's do
Well,
the ace escape.
all you did was say
The
Ace escapes.
Let's do the ace
Okay.
escape
Oh,
first. So
go
yeah,
ahead.
It's more complicated than that.
Go
it's
ahead,
very
Ken, go
complicated.
ahead.
So the creatures are advancing on Ace. Suddenly Nimrod to the
Well,
rescue.
they're not just advancing on Ace; they're dragging her towards the door.
Oh yes, they are.
That the other creature is talking.
And we should mention this door. We have seen like a little hole cut out of it and an eye poking out.
Yeah, there's a peephole.
Yeah, there's a peephole. We keep seeing that throughout the first 2 parts.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But then,
as they're dragging
Guess
into
who
the door,
wakes up?
Nimrod.
Yeah.
Here he comes
He
to
has
save
a
the day with a
lantern
lantern.
and a stick.
Yeah. He uses the lantern to fend off the creatures. I suppose they're sensitive to light, and he beats them up a bit. He stops the door from opening because that's what the goal was here. And then they all, while that's going on, because there's 2 parts to the escape anyway.
Yes.
While that's going
Now we
on,
get to
then
the
we get the
final
Gwendolyn bit, and this is just wild.
Yes.
Go ahead. Now,
Okay, she's in her room. She collects these butterflies and beetles and other insects.
She's in the
which-
parlor, not in her room.
In the parlor, sorry. Which, certain Victorian people did do. This is
Yep.
not an unusual thing for Victorian society to have Coleoptera and Lepidoptera and other species like that preserved to look at. That's not
Yep.
unusual. You know what's unusual? A man in a drawer?
Wait, you guys don't have just a man in your drawer?
She opens the bottom drawer and there's a man in it.
I may have said too much. Forget I said anything.
Not just a man, a police inspector in full uniform. And I wasn't sure what the hell was going on at this point.
But it's okay. He's one of her favorites. He's from Java.
oh my God.
Other brands of coffee are available.
No, not that Java, just Java.
I know.
Also, Java means coffee. You
I know.
Philistine.
But there is a Java brand of coffee. They were
But
so
yes,
inventive.
she
They literally
also,
named their coffee brand Coffee.
She also tells the doctor that the Reverend is also going to be leaving for Java soon, and that Uncle Josiah sent her father there after he saw what was in the cellar.
Yep.
Ooh.
So we're just building the intrigue here.
Which we
So-
know where the cellar is because that's where Ace is. And speaking of Ace, she got a stick.
Oh yeah, the stick.
Yeah.
So, before that, the doctor is badgering Josiah, wondering where Ace is. And he's just like, oh, doctor, have you thought about my offer? No, fuck that. Where's Ace? And then, his maids are all around. The doctor's gonna go try to save Ace and head to the elevator. And the maids just pull out guns.
Yep, they've all got
Yeah.
revolvers. 4 maids, 4 revolvers. The doctor does get a great line here as he's walking away from Josiah's offer. He says, "Not tonight, Josephine." Do you know what that's a reference to?
No.
Napoleon.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
He's supposed to have said, "Not tonight, Josephine."
I see.
Except he probably didn't say it. It's an apocryphal quote, but that's what it's referring
well-
to, and I love it.
So the doctor's at gunpoint. Ace and Nimrod are wrestling with these lizard people. And there's a big glowy thing at the center of the spaceship.
And suddenly
And
Nimrod
Ace
turns on
gets
Ace.
the idea, hey, let us go or I'm going to smash this thing. To which Nimrod is not happy about that.
No, he now attacks Ace.
Yep.
He
He
smash the
claims
thing.
that she is profaning the Temple of Light and that the sleeping one must not be woken.
Ah, yes, Temple of Light, my favourite Ocarina of Time dungeon.
Well, it's definitely better than the Water Temple.
I was partial to the forest one myself.
Yeah, the forest is good. But we won't go into that. The sleeping one must not be woken, is what he says. They have a rather good struggle.
That's what I said.
Yes, you did. I apologise, I wasn't paying attention.
So it's okay. It's okay. You're mirroring each other.
I was so focused on my Ocarina of Time reference, I completely ignored you. I'm sorry, Kat. That was very rude of me.
I love
Okay, I'm used to it. You guys ignore me all the time.
Wait, who said that?
I was going to say that as well.
I have a
Now we're
superpower.
each other.
Ignore me.
Oh, am I invisible?
Can't
In
get
this,
offended if they can't hear me.
am I invisible in this fracking t-shirt?
So the thing gets smashed. Uh-oh.
Yeah, they have a fight. The hatch wins because they get smashed into it, and this jet of steam blasts out, and then that actually is seen in the main part of the house where the maids have got the doctor at gunpoint. And Josiah is furious about this. He's yelling at Nimrod for being a fool.
Yep.
Alarms are going off. There's flashing light in the window. So it's all going crazy. The doctor just uses this opportunity to take the revolver off one of the mates and hold Josiah at gunpoint.
No, it's even better.
Yep.
He doesn't hold the Josiah at gunpoint. He pulls out the Geiger counter he's had since part 1 and points it at Josiah.
Yes.
And Josiah thinks it's a gun.
I thought that was one of the maid's revolvers.
Nope.
I did too
what
at first, and then I was like,
the best part is we have another instance of Tardis Wiki getting it wrong because they also thought that the doctor grabbed a gun
Fair enough.
and then tried to use it on Josiah to threaten him.
I am no better than Tardis Wiki. Oh my god.
so would you say that Rainiac is now not entirely villainous?
Oh no, he's still entirely villainous.
Because I'm British,
I
right?
hate you.
Yeah. At least you admit it.
I mean, at some point, you've just got to embrace the fact that the world hates us.
Pretty much, yeah.
You can either be depressed about that, or you can stick 2 fingers up at the bastards.
It's like the only person in this entire podcast who would not be hated for just existing is Frez, because
Yeah.
he's Canadian.
And even
Hey,
then,
listen.
they've got some things wrong with them.
Yeah, there's some news.
Yeah.
There's some shit in the
Which
news.
we're not going to go into, but
we're not going to go into that. That's a little too heavy for a Doctor Who podcast, but
so yeah, okay. So he holds
yeah.
he holds her at he holds Josiah not at gunpoint, at Geiger counterpoint.
gets them and gets the maids to open the elevator, and down he and Josiah go.
Another great line here is where Josiah is railing at Ace for interrupting the experiments. Ace claims it was an accident, and the doctor just goes, "That's my girl."
Yeah,
And
so
for
the
that, I
Doctor
can
and
forgive him for being
Josiah
a bit
come up.
manipulative, because it's clear he still cares for Ace very much.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So the Doctor and Josiah are down here, and they meet up with Ace again. And hey, what's that shit on the wall? As the Doctor starts playing with the controls, something lights up on the wall, and it's actually DNA codes.
Ba-bum.
Yeah,
Interesting.
the hatch is leaking energy and leaking DNA.
Yeah. And we also get an explanation for those weird lizard things in suits. Turns out they were Josiah.
Yeah, they're his
Yeah.
husks. I mean, wait, what?
So, yeah,
So-
that's...
I'm going to explain this in a
Go.
way that will really piss Frez off.
Oh, no.
Rainiac,
Yes.
do you remember that part in Metroid Other M with Ridley?
Oh,
You're right, and I hate it.
It's basically like that. Essentially, it's taking his body, he evolves inside of it, crawls out of it, and then starts the process over again.
I'm sorry. I just remembered
That's a fucking apt metaphor,
I've just
and I
remembered
hate it.
I've just remembered the Derpy Ridley fight from Other M.
Yep.
To quote
God.
Proton,
And looking at these husks, you can see it's kind of the exact same evolution of Ridley, where it's like it starts off as one thing, and then by the time you see him next, he's completely different.
Proton John played through Other M as one of his game clearing streams, and he summed up both the game and that fight perfectly. This is so stupid.
Yeah.
That's a mood. That's a mood. Other M, kids, not even once.
No.
For those who are confused and have no idea what I'm talking about, just go watch Retsu Prey's 1 hour character assassination. It's fantastic. It's really fun to watch. You're gonna hate Other M though.
The correct answer is hating Other M, but
Oh god, you just made me think of the best moment of that stream, Cat.
Oh.
And you can cut this out if you don't want to spoil Other M in the show, Rainiac, but if only grappling were authorized! Samus, I'm authorizing use of the grapple beam! That literally happens.
yeah. I'll also keep it vague to also bless you.
Oh, sorry, that came on really suddenly.
It's okay, bless you. I'll also keep it vague to avoid spoilers, but also on Proton John's stream, there's a bit at the end where the something really touching happens, and then the alarms immediately go off and take you completely out of the moment, and he just loses it.
Oh yeah! Oh, yeah, that part.
Well, you know what? I don't give two shits about Other M. It's a fucking stupid-ass game. The idea is that she finds her dead friend's helmet and starts crying over it, but then the alarms go off and ruin the moment.
Yeah.
And it's like...
Yep.
There was a recut of Other M's movie mode that was fantastic, and it completely moved that scene, and it made so much more sense.
It's still very funny. It's like touching scene and then... Bah, 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 bah.
So, let's talk about Doctor Who instead of Metroid Other M.
Let's do that.
Yeah, but basically, that's Josiah. Josiah is Ridley in this.
Josiah is Ridley. Well, that's the description on Twitter for this week.
He is also too damn big for this cereal.
Hey, he made it into Smash eventually. And his
Eventually.
house.
Oh, I love that meme though. I love that. Ridley is too fucking big.
He's a house that neither Rainiac and I use, because Rainiac's favorite heavyweight is King K. Rool, and mine is King Dede.
I tried to use Ridley. I'm not very good with him.
Ridley's fine. He's fun to cheese with. He's fine.
Yeah.
But, man, K. Rool and Dede.
We've had some great fights with those two.
We have had some incredible matches. K. Rool versus Dede.
Breaking... You shattering my... K. Rool's breastplate, me waking up a millisecond, dodging the smash attack, KO. Amazing.
Beautiful.
I don't know how I did that.
So, Doctor Who.
No. I'm going to glow it just a little bit longer. I don't get a chance to do this very often.
Yeah, you're definitely British.
Okay. Doctor Who. So yeah, Josiah gets the upper hand on the Doctor again. He gets a proper gun. He knows that the Geiger counter is a Geiger counter now.
Yeah.
So whoops.
And now he's like, "You're gonna help stabilize this thing, or else everything's gonna blow up."
So the Doctor trusts this. He says, "Do what I do exactly when I do it." So they start fiddling with the controls, and then at some point they open the little valves either side of the glowing hatch, steam right in Josiah's eyes. His glasses fall off. We never see them again. But then we have a problem because the creature from the other side of the door, which we can now refer to as Control, interesting, is getting out. So the Doctor, Ace, they grab Nimrod, who's still standing mesmerised, staring at the hatch. They grab him. Josiah stumbles to the lift. We get a haunted house bit, basically, where Control is trying to get through the door. They close the door on her arm. Control grabs the Doctor by the tie.
Well, then the Doctor at some point shakes Control's hand.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then gets grabbed by the tie.
Yeah. Anyway, they get out and they get away from Control and they get back up.
And continuing our theme of the story, Josiah is evolving.
Ooh.
Quick, somebody press B and interrupt it.
And he also has an appointment with the Reverend.
But he can't make the appointment just yet because the maids and Miss Pritchard are there. Oh, we should mention there's an interesting scene which makes more sense later on. Gwendolyn suddenly becomes very upset about her father going to Java. And Mrs. Pritchard doesn't give a damn. She starts shaming her. She said she criticizes the clothes she's wearing, and she blames the Doctor. I do not like Mrs. Pritchard.
Yeah.
Well, it's not entirely her fault.
I still don't like her.
She's not entirely villainous.
Oh, fuck!
Miss me with that. She is entirely villainous.
Well,
No, she's not. Be nice.
Oh, okay, Missy.
Okay. I mean, I'd be happy to be Missy. But
I know,
all right.
I know. She is a great character. But yeah, so
I'd be a great Missy.
the Reverend's got an appointment with Josiah. This is...
oh, this is fun.
Given who it happens to, yeah, it is actually quite fun.
Yeah, yeah.
So, Josiah, he's sitting there. He's got, like, white shit on his face. He's clearly, like, not well. But he's also... He's in a state of metamorphosis, let's say. And, the Reverend's on his usual bullshit. Oh, the Lord God made us like this. Evolution's a big load of baloney. And then Josiah offers the Reverend a bowl of fruit. And the Reverend thoughtfully takes a banana and eats it. And Josiah starts laughing maniacally. Whatever are you on about? Oh my god. What's going on with the Reverend's hands?
Yeah, because at this point, the Reverend is like, can't swallow, as if we could ever, come from monkeys. And then he starts slowly turning into, an ape, essentially.
Josiah finally made a monkey out of him.
And, yeah, so, maybe a little premature, but I have an appropriate gif.
Oh, no.
What?
You know what the funny thing is? This is essentially the same kind of idea as in the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Hey kids, watch the Morton Jankel cut.
Hey kids, don't.
It's yeah.
Don't.
I mean, no. Do you know about this cat? Did I mention this?
Yeah, you linked it to me, and it's still an awful movie.
It's better. The cut is better, but yeah, it's still bad.
Listen, I grew up with this movie. I can't hate it. It's charmingly gonzo bullshit.
I can appreciate
I
that.
absolutely love the Silent Hill movie, so it's just like...
That's me in
I can't
Street
really say
Fighter.
much.
It's not a good film, but it's a great film to enjoy.
Also, in the Morton
Right,
Jankel
right.
cut, someone calls the Mario Brothers motherfuckers.
Really?
Oh, man, I actually need to watch this now.
Cat's like, profanity? I'm all in. So, yeah, I don't feel sorry for this Reverend. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. I will say one good thing about the serial is that most of the time, it makes it so that you're not too sympathetic for the people who gets that stuff happen to them.
No.
Most of the time.
There's one I do feel sorry for.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of too.
In fact, we're coming up to him shortly. So,
Him? You mean her?
Yeah.
oh yeah, well, two. But we've all...
No, there's only one as far as I'm aware.
Okay. Well, anyway, Reverend Matthews has turned into a monkey. Gwendolyn chloroforms him, and he's on his way to Java.
Oh no.
Good riddance. Ace is obviously exhausted from the adventure because she suddenly falls asleep. Now, again, not stated in the episode, Do we think she was intentionally drugged, or did she just fall asleep?
I think
I think she just fell asleep.
I think she just fell asleep.
And when she wakes up, we actually have a nice-ish character here.
This is one of the maids from the beginning of part 1.
Do you remember the one that said we have to get out of here before 6?
Yep, Mrs. Gross.
Yeah, she's actually all right. She's not bad. She's
So Ace wakes up and the maid comes out. Oh, hello, love. Lovely day. I've cooked you your breakfast here. And she's got a new dress out for Ace to wear. It's very nice.
Which looks great.
Yep.
I love Ace's dress. I love Ace in the dress.
And she also mentions, "Oh, it's you slept for a long time. It's past 5 now."
Yeah.
She's like, "What? Oh shit!"
So there's less than an hour before the ill goes down again.
And she also says that the doctor and the inspector are waiting for her downstairs. Because while Ace was asleep, the doctor went over to the drawer that had the guy inside and started to wake him up. And thankfully it worked.
And this is the other
Unfortunately,
character.
it gives us this inspector.
Unfortunately,
God.
what's wrong with him?
Well,
He's racist.
there's one big thing we're going to talk about in a
He's
second.
racist.
But
He's racist still.
But I do also want to mention something that drops in the scene where Josiah is going to get the Reverend, or he's starting to turn into a monkey. Josiah says that soon I shall restore the blighted British Empire to its full power and vigor.
Yep.
Oh, great. It's a take over the world plot.
Oh,
Well, the
great!
Take Over England plot.
Great! Look at him. He's a big Victorian nationalist.
Yay.
That hits a little differently in 2021 as well.
Okay, but now we get I think we need to talk about it.
Yeah, so they have Nimrod sitting on the couch, and he's not doing too well after the whole stuff down in the spaceship. And the inspector is apparently from 1881, so 2 years prior to the events of, the current time that they're in.
Yeah. He was sent here.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I
You
was
can go ahead.
going to say exactly what you were going to say. He was sent here to investigate the disappearance of George Pritchard, who is Gwendolyn's father. And he is absolutely dead set on conducting his investigation, asking as many questions as he can. And he wants to ask questions of the Doctor and Ace. Of course, they don't really know much of anything, and they kind of avoid the questions. So he wants to talk to Nimrod instead, but of course Nimrod's not awake. And unfortunately...
I have the line leading up to it. He says, "I suppose this must be the manservant. Nasty-looking customer. Must be a foreigner. Neanderthal." And then he says...
the G word.
Okay, I missed this.
So...
I missed this. This is what you were saying about racism. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, no. All right, yeah. Gonna retract my statement about him being all right.
There is a word that is used for the Romani people, which it starts with a G, and you probably know it, and it is very offensive.
Is it the title of a Cher film?
It's the title of a Fleetwood Mac song.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the title of a Cher film. So
it's like out of respect for people, and the fact that I don't say these kinds of words anyways. We will not say it here, but we will say that it's very offensive. It leads to some very disgusting stereotypes, including that these specific people are dirty, they're thieves, things like that, which the inspector also talks in length about.
Which I missed most of, because I think my mind was still trying to cope with what I was witnessing. So thank you for bringing that to my attention.
Not great.
No, definitely not great. I honestly didn't hear that bit. I'm not like trying to turn a blind eye or anything like that.
I mean, if you were, you would say, "Oh, well, it doesn't matter." But you're like, "Oh,
I'm getting a musical and a Cher song conflated."
Yeah. I mean, you're like, "Oh, he said that. That sucks," which is the appropriate reaction. IMO.
Yeah, I didn't realize he said it, but now I know that he said it. I retract what I said about this being a good character.
Yeah.
He sucks.
I'll switch
it's like
back
not only is he an asshole, but he's also a racist asshole.
Yeah.
So and sexist.
Okay, so I don't feel sorry for him, but I do feel sorry for another male character later on. But anyway,
let's
with Nimrod. Here again, I get the distinct feeling that certain scenes were left out of this story.
Oh, more than of
Oh,
course.
there's a lot of scenes left out of this story.
Because
I hate to tell you.
the doctor brings Nimrod round with the fang of the cave bear.
Which that's something that he showed Nimrod earlier.
I think it briefly got a mention earlier in part 1, possibly.
Yeah.
Anyway, the fang makes Nimrod start to recount his memories.
Yeah.
And he is
Yep.
indeed a Neanderthal from way, way, way back in time.
Yep.
As that's happening, we have an intruder in the house.
Oh no. Who's that?
Control has gotten free and is in the house now. And Control is this
Not for that long.
female-like figure covered in veils. Very much,
A Mrs. Rochester, if you will.
yeah. I was going to say Kate Bush in Wuthering Heights, but yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Thinking about that music video, but yes.
Pushing Wuthering Heights.
She moves
God.
weirdly. It's obvious she's not human. Josiah also is moving in very strange ways to make it obvious he's not human either. Well, Nimrod has now recovered from whatever was affecting him from the hatch, so he goes to talk to Redfers.
And he's ready to free Redverse from his straitjacket.
Which it already happened. Again, things were missing here, weren't they?
Well, here's the fun thing. So Redverse is like, oh, the doctor freed me already.
Yeah, he freed me hours ago.
I hate to tell you, but it's not technically missing. It just happened while Ace was asleep.
Also,
Then it's missing because we don't see it.
I want to mention a little fun something. The script editor of the McCoy years, Andrew
Yes.
Cartmel, was a
Yes.
big fan of 80s comics, specifically the works of Alan Moore, such as Watchmen. And Watchmen has the iconic line, I did it 35 minutes ago.
Oh my god, it does.
So, hey, there's a little connection going there.
Okay. Anyway,
Which is cute.
Redfers gives some good advice to Nimrod. Nimrod's talking about this. He's talking in vagaries again, but he's concerned about what's got into the house, and Redfers says you should hunt it down. I think he offers to hunt it down with him. Like,
Yeah.
join my expedition. We don't see whether or not he accepts this offer or not, does Nimrod, because at this point, Control's back in the spaceship and tampering with the hatch.
He's gonna wake that thing up.
She's got it open, and then we get, again, a really horrible scene.
So Ace is wandering around, and she runs into the inspector, and a door opens behind the inspector, and it leads up to that Luigi's Mansion room you were mentioning,
Yep.
where Gwendolyn and the lady Pritchard are frozen, and Josiah is just sitting there.
You missed out the biggest part.
What's that?
They're covered in sheets.
Oh yeah, fuck! They were all covered in sheets. Yeah. So they pulls the sheet off, and it's Josiah sitting there motionless. Then they pull the sheets off, and it's Gwendolyn Lady Pritchard sitting there motionless. And then there's this great big thing in the room, and yeah,
It's an elephant.
before
No,
that,
wait.
Before that, she said Ace has the line that Josiah is basically using Lady Pritchard and Gwen as playthings. But then they see this big thing, and they lift up part of the sheet, and they get to read a plaque, and it says, Homo Victorianus Ineptus. And what's under the sheet?
It's Trev the Rev.
Blink that gif again.
Yeah. It's Trev the Rev.
Yeah, it's just this time he's trapped inside of a glass case of emotions.
And then there's Ernest. He's dead.
His only emotion now being, oh, banana.
Also, I know the reason why they are covered with sheets. I just have to explain it later. Unfortunately.
Okay, that's fair enough.
This is turning into a Doctor Who script of his own. But why is this happening? I'll explain later.
It's like, for those of you who have ever watched the Higurashi anime, the first season was all the questions, and the second season was all the answers. This is essentially what it is. The first two of the serial are all the questions, and then the third one kind of answers it all.
I clearly wasn't paying attention because it does not answer it all for me, but...
And also a fun fact, I never watched.
I can explain later.
Also, fun fact: I never watched the second season of Higurashi, so all that shit is just a myriad of questions I remember
You
from 15
never
years ago.
watched the second. Oh my gosh, I can't with you right now. Polly, get him to watch the second season.
Oh no!
Anyway,
Oh no!
things are coming to a real head here. So, the doctor's back in the house, and he has figured something out. He's figured out that everything seems to happen in the house after 6. It's now 5:45. So the doctor just pushes the clock hand to 6, and right on cue, a bell rings, the wall opens up, and out come the maids.
Well, how about that?
Again, they're still not explaining why they do this, but anyway.
Unfortunately for Ace and the Professor, this also wakes up Gwen, Lady Pritchard,
And Josiah's husk.
And the Josiah's husk, which grabs the inspector from behind and restrains him.
Yes, and I can explain all this too just later.
Okay.
I got you.
Mrs. Pritchard backhands the inspector.
Goddamn.
Josiah grabs Ace, well, the husk grabs Ace. It's got a very tight grip because she can't get free. And then who's that coming out from behind the curtain? It's another Josiah.
He's evolved
Into a big asshole.
Oh no, it's Perfect Cell.
I mean,
Look out.
Victorian era man. What's the difference? I don't know.
It's Perfect Cell.
So Ace tries to use the light against him by opening the curtain, thinking, take this, Dracula. Ah, I'm not weak to the light anymore.
Oh no, whatever shall we do?
Anyway, it's denouement time. It's 0 to 100 time. So Josiah's got Ace as his prisoner. I think the inspector is just knocked out, isn't he, at this point?
Mm.
I don't think he's present in the main chamber when all this goes down.
So Josiah drags and drag Ace down there to the main drawing room as it is. So it's time for their big confrontation, and then all of a sudden, out of the elevator comes Control.
Yeah, she has crawled up the lift shaft to get out.
This is all part of the Doctor's plan.
Yeah, I have words to say about this, but I'll wait till later.
He's made a bargain with Control.
Did we see him make the bargain?
No, let's say he did it while Ace was asleep.
Oh, yeah. See, this is my problem with this. It's fine to infer, but at least have a little bit of a hint.
Either way, he's made a deal with Control. Control comes up, and
Josiah's terrified of it, but he's got more problems because the Doctor has also summoned the Burning One.
Josiah runs to the elevator, tries to shut the door, but he gets electrocuted. And then our cliffhanger is that the doors fling open and blinding light flings out. Let there be light, motherfuckers! Cliffhanger noise.
Also the cliffhanger, the man on fire from Metal Gear Solid steps out. No.
No, nothing actually steps out. It's just blinding light.
When I heard the Burning One, my mind automatically went to the man on fire.
Oh my god.
Blinded by the light.
I'm nuclear. So part 3, we've already gone from 0 to 100. Now we go from 100 to 150.
There is no peak. What the fuck?
There really isn't. So when the Doctor called out light, he wasn't just talking about light. He was actually referring to a being.
This is what was sleeping in that thing. It's a guy in a robe.
It's an angel.
Light.
It's an angel. Well, it's taking the form of an angel.
It's funny because the inspector is like, what? Oh my god, it's a devil. And Ace is just like, it's an angel, stupid.
So the inspector is there. Okay.
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah, here's light.
Here's light of the title.
So we want to talk about the deal with light?
Yeah, so he is a very interesting character. Or it's a very interesting character. I don't think it has a gender. It's taking a male form at this moment.
Yeah.
He's got a very strange way of talking. I don't mean this as a slur on LGBT, but it's a very sort of airy-fairy way of talking, like sort of ephemeral, head up in the clouds. It's very strange. Like, how to explain it? Mr.
It's
Burns.
really...
Mr. Burns in
God.
that episode where he's an alien.
I bring you love.
Pretty much like that, yes.
Bringing love. Don't let it get away.
He's bringing love, boys. Shoot it in the kneecaps. That is a great episode of The Simpsons, by the way. But yeah, so what's Light's deal? Well, Light's deal is he is surveying and cataloguing all life on Earth, I suppose all life in the universe eventually.
Yes.
He mentions that Josiah is, or rather the Doctor mentions that Josiah is the survey. Again, how the Doctor knows all this is never explained.
He's clever. He figured it out.
The Doctor knows a lot more than he should in this story.
To be fair, it's Sylvester McCoy's Doctor. If you're going to write a Doctor who knows more than he should, McCoy is that Doctor.
And I suppose we can use the
Also,
excuse...
to be fair, at some point he did make that deal with Control, so Control might have told him all this.
Again,
So,
I think we can explain... We can excuse it kind of by saying, oh, it all happened off camera, but I still don't like that. But,
Yeah.
yeah, so this is why Josiah was terrified of whatever the hell was in that hatch, because what was in that hatch is the key to stopping all of his plans for the British Empire.
Well, not even just that, it's just the actual true owner of the spaceship.
Yes, he is the true owner of the spaceship.
Also that, but we should say that what's going on here is never really stated, but as I say, Josiah is the survey, constantly evolving and changing to match the dominant life form of the planet, and Control is the literal control of the experiment, the control group, who just sits there, is locked up and never changes, and went mad because of it.
Understandably so.
Yeah. So that's what's going on here. And we're really going to get into the whole creationism versus evolution bullshit because, well, for one thing, as they say, Light is taking on the form of an angel, but also, as we'll find out, he is also very anti-evolution for a different reason than just, I believe in God.
Yeah.
He's anti-Earth.
Well, he's anti-Earth because the Earth is well, here's we'll just say it.
Yeah.
He spent centuries cataloging every form of life on the planet, every single living organism.
Yep.
And by the time he finished, evolution had happened, and it all fucking changed.
Not quite. Essentially, what actually happens is that he did indeed come to Earth in order to catalog all the life on the planet at the time. Mm-hmm. Once he was able to do that, he also collected samples, which is actually where Nimrod came from, because he's a sample of a Neanderthal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Once he had finished all this work, he believed he was done, and the ship left. He went into sort of like a stasis almost, like a cryo sleep, whatever you want to call it.
Hibernation.
And essentially, Josiah brought the ship back to Earth and made sure that Light would not wake up again. So then that way he could stay here and start doing all the stuff that he wanted to do, which was essentially take over England.
Yep. And so now then, when Light wakes up, he's like, wait, everything's fucking changed. All my work is useless. This evolution is bullshit.
He's got to start all over again.
And
essentially.
Before he can continue his tirade, Josiah instructs one of his maids to shoot Light. Bad idea.
Light he doesn't even... I don't think he even moves. All of a sudden, just a blue glow surrounds her and she falls over dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he even states that he didn't have to do it because no other weapons will work on him. So he didn't have to kill her.
No.
He just did it because he wanted to. But there goes maid number 3. I suppose the washing up will never get done now. So the Doctor gets Josiah and his people to withdraw to save themselves from Light.
Well, he doesn't get them. They run away.
No, he says to them, he says, Josiah, withdraw your people now.
Oh, well.
He advises them to run
away.
He advises them to run away. So we've now got different people in different parts of the house. So we've got Josiah's group of Mrs. Pritchard, Gwendolyn, Josiah himself, and the remaining 3 maids. They're in the upper part of the house. The Doctor and Ace are on their own. The Inspector is somewhere. So is Nimrod. He's not part of the Josiah group. We've got Light wandering around, and we've got Control wandering around as well.
There's a lot going on.
And let's talk a little bit about Control, because this is probably the one character I do feel sorry for.
Yeah.
She has been messed up by whatever the hell Josiah's done to her. And I think Light as well, to be fair.
Yeah. Just being locked up for God knows how long drove her mad.
But those veils that she had are removed, and she's slowly taking on the appearance of a human lady. She wants to be a ladylike.
Proper Victorian lady.
Yep.
And she finds a kindred spirit in the most unlikely of places, Redfer.
Yeah.
He turns up. He's very nice to her. He doesn't seem to be, trying to manipulate or abuse her. He gives her some beads, which I assume belonged to the lady of the house, and he just had it for whatever reason. He says, and now we trade words. We don't see what they talk about yet. Back to Light, and oh my god, this.
Oh, this.
So these computer screens have appeared on the stained glass windows inside the house. Light's just looking at them. I guess that's his catalogue.
DNA codes.
Yeah, in a visual form.
He's essentially trying to study the DNA of everything and trying to figure out what the hell went wrong.
One of the maids makes the mistake of her life by turning up with a tray.
Yeah.
And he says, I require your assistance, child. R.I.P.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, scratch that. I feel sorry for Control and this maid.
That's
Yeah,
true.
I feel really sorry for this maid right now because literally she didn't do anything but walk past.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the maids all do pull guns on the doctor, but that's at Josiah's bidding, and I think it's kind of inferred again, not stated. You could kind of imply they're slaves, like they haven't got control of themselves. No pun intended.
I mean,
Yeah,
we're gonna find out
yeah.
soon that Gwendolyn and Lady Pritchard are also under Josiah's control. So
So you think that's what's happening with the maids as well?
that's pretty much what I think was happening.
Why he didn't
I
give it to
think since we're here, I can go ahead and start explaining some of the things that I have not read the novelization, so I'm not entirely sure if my interpretation is correct. However, this is how I interpreted everything upon first watch and then thinking about it afterwards.
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
So, we see later that Gwendolyn and her mother are under a sort of brainwashing, correct?
Yes.
Mhm.
And from this, we all kind of assume that the maids may also be under brainwashing.
Yeah.
I think that's why they are hidden away in those little rooms, because that way the maids who come in during the day won't find them.
Yeah, because
Right.
the day maids are not under the spell.
Is
Exactly.
this also why he covers up his old husk and Gwendolyn and Lady Pritchard with
That's why he
potions?
cuts. Yeah, that's exactly why he covers them all up. Because if the maids went around and they found them, then that would be a bad thing because then they'd have questions.
Yes.
And since Josiah can't go out into the daytime, he can't really, hypnotize these people because they go home and they do stuff. If they were to suddenly change their schedule and then not come home, that would, bring questions.
Yes.
My assumption is that these maids were already in the house and they were just the night staff that he hypnotized.
They could also be his
Most likely.
victims.
Yeah.
This is also true.
In the same way, like the Reverend was his victim, and the actual man of the house was his victim.
Yeah.
They could
But
be.
as we kind of see with Gwendolyn and so on, whenever they're frozen like that, they don't seem to need to sleep or eat or do anything like that.
No,
Because
they're like
just sitting
suspended
there
in
frozen.
time.
Right, exactly. So the maids just standing inside the room all day long makes sense because they won't be found, they don't really seem to need anything, so on and so forth.
Okay, so I would say then that they are probably innocent victims as well, and they're just doing it because they
More
have
than
to.
likely, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Which makes all of this kind of worse because that means that Light has essentially killed two very innocent people who are
Yes.
under a hypnosis.
Oh,
not,
yeah.
Not good. Not good. So
No.
also not good. How about a waking nightmare for Ace?
Oh, well, before that, can we talk about Josiah and Gwendolyn real quick?
Oh yes, yes. Sorry, I skipped over that bit.
Because
Yeah.
Josiah is pretty is plotting, that Light and the Doctor will be after each other, and that'll distract them long enough for him to have his plans go okay. And then Gwendolyn's pretty much just like, oh, I think it's time for Ace to go to Java, which we
Not the
know
land of coffee.
we know the metaphor for that. And so now they're going after Ace, and this is where shit happens.
Just a
Yeah.
bit.
Hey y'all, you ever see the movie Evil Dead 2?
Yeah.
No, but I could guess something like this happens in it.
Something like this happens.
So
So Ace is upstairs, and all of a sudden she starts freaking out, and all the animals and shit their eyes start glowing,
yeah,
and there's filters on the screen, so it's just like, what the fuck is going
she's
on?
imagining all these specimens coming to life and judging her for something.
Yeah.
She says, it wasn't my fault, it wasn't my fault. You're dead, you're all dead. We should also mention that before this, she and the Doctor had another bit of a falling out. I don't think we get the final reveal of what Ace did do just yet.
Not yet. Not
Not yet.
In that case, I am psychic because I've written down that in my notes before it happened.
Yeah. Hey,
But this whole waking nightmare sequence is very well done.
It's
Yeah.
good.
It's scary, it's creepy, it's shot really well,
Again, very Evil Dead 2 on the BBC
Yes.
budget.
and the nightmare stops and a new one immediately begins because here's Gwendolyn. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Well, yeah, so she's ready to take Ace to Java, but luckily, how does Ace get out of this one?
They fight.
They fight. They're in the same room that Redverse was locked in. And Ace manages to get out and lock the door.
Yeah,
I don't know if she gets helped or not. I don't have that
she
part
does,
written
but
down.
that refers to a previous scene. So
Mhm.
the fight doesn't happen straight away. We cut back to Redfers,
Yeah.
who's continuing to be nice to Control.
And Control's all dressed up in, fancy dress and doing her stuff and all that, and she talks in a raspy voice. Control me, ladylike.
And I think Redfers says Redfers thinks you're the finest lady like Redfers has ever seen.
Oh,
A bit
God.
random, but okay.
Oh, and this is a great scene too. The Doctor comes up looking for Control.
Yeah, he
Trying
wants
to
her
get
help.
Control's help.
Yes.
He wants
And
her
what
help.
does-
He wants her to let him help her as well. And how does Control respond, Kat?
She fucking yeets herself out the window.
It's amazing.
And I don't mean out the window as in she opens it.
No.
I mean straight through the window.
She dives through it head first.
She
jumps
fucking
through it.
buggins it.
Holy shit!
YOLO smash.
Jumping through a top 10 scenes in Doctor Who where people jump through fucking windows.
This is another one of those times where I had to pause the video and just laugh
Yes.
for quite some time.
I did as well. I love it.
So good.
That's important because she actually will get involved in the Ace
Yeah, she
Gwendolyn
comes
battle.
into play later.
And there's a really good line from McCoy where the stereotype of McCoy. He's the master chess master, and even he's like, even I can't play this many games at once.
I love it.
And do we find out the other thing here?
Yes, we do. Redford has got a photograph of his next target,
The rare crowned Saxe Coburg.
and it's just Queen Victoria with a gun sight superimposed over her head. So yeah, another patsy of Josiah's here. Redford is being set up to assassinate the Queen.
Dun dun dun.
She can't do that. Torchwood would never exist.
It's like I love what he says too, because it's a joke in of itself. He says that he's hunting the Crown Saxe Coburg.
Yeah,
That's literally the house that Prince Albert belonged to.
yeah.
Incredible.
That, as Renier Wolfcastle might say, is the joke.
Well, not all Americans or any other people might understand that, so
I
had to make
understand
sure
that.
to spell it out.
It's British show. I understand context has to be supplied for certain things.
Actually, I'm pretty sure there's probably a lot of British people who won't know that either.
Yeah, well, okay, well, now you know. Don't go for the obvious reference after that. But back to the battle
more
between
you
Ace
know.
and Gwendolyn, because this is great.
He
They
gets some
get a
help
real
from an unlikely
physical
source.
fight. They're like at each other's throats. They're slamming each other against walls and floors and shit. In comes
Yeah, it's-
Control through the window. She doesn't jump through it this time. She just sort of enters it as gracefully as she can.
Yeah.
Ace asks for her help. She kind of provides it. She sort of shoves Gwendolyn around. We should point out that Gwendolyn has a maid with her, one of the two surviving maids now.
Yeah, the maid is guarding the door, and in fact, the doctor and
Rivers.
Redvers?
And she just
yeah,
bows to
Redvers
them?
actually go past.
Yeah.
She just curtsies to them,
So
which again makes me think
Control-
she's not a willing participant in all this. But
Alright. So
It's
Control
just quite
shoves
funny. It's quite
Control
funny.
shoves Gwendolyn down, runs out the door, and Ace gets up and runs out the door, past the maid, and locks the door, locking Gwendolyn in.
oh, she shoves the maid into
Well,
the room as well.
Yeah, she shoves the maid in as well.
Shoves the maid in the way. Okay, so that's good. That's good.
It's just funny because in an effort to get away from the doctor, Control comes back into the house, pushes them both out of the way, gets herself out the door, and instead happens to help Ace.
Yeah, well,
So what's
I love it.
and again,
what's-
it should be pointed out this maid does not make a move to grab Ace when she turns up. She doesn't even react very much until she gets shoved into the room.
Yeah.
So again,
So
I
what's-
think they're victims.
so what's Light up to during all this?
Oh God.
Well, so Nimrod comes in and sees Light, and he's got a severed arm in his hand, and there's a lady in a maid outfit on the table, and Light just says, "I wanted to see how it worked, so I dismantled it."
Oh my God.
Yeah. I feel really sorry for her.
This scene nearly made me throw up.
Oh well, it's what happens next that probably would make someone throw up.
Well, no, because that's not as. It is gruesome, but it's not shown to be as gruesome as him literally taking off somebody's arm and holding it up like a trophy.
It's nasty.
It's what you see and what you don't see. You don't see what happens after this.
Yeah.
You do see him take the arm off, and it's absolutely horrific. Anyway, Nimrod is.
Well, he doesn't. I don't think he actually takes the arm off. He just turns around with it in his hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's taken the arm off anyway.
I think actually taking the arm off would have been a little too much.
This was still too much.
So Nimrod and Light talk, Nimrod's people worship Light as the Burning One. Hello, Metal Gear.
The man on
And
fire.
Light- Cage away from him.
Light wants another specimen, and he mentions, "Oh, who let you out? You were my Neanderthal specimen," and it was Josiah who let him out. And oh no, but Light needs another specimen. But here's the inspector who just waltzed in.
Who, now I know about what he said, I feel less sorry for, but
Yeah.
we don't see what Light does to the inspector, but we know it's not good because that same zapping noise that when the first maid bit it is heard, and his eyes just roll back in his head, and he slumps
He
down,
collapses.
and that's
Yeah.
all you
Yeah.
see. And this is what I say: is what you do see and what you don't see. You see far more with the maid being dismantled than you do with this.
So
Yeah.
meanwhile, Ace has found Control, and she's talking with Control, and we get a cut after this scene where Gwen just full on Jack Nicholson shinings her way out the door that she's locked inside.
Here's Gwenny.
Damn it, you took my joke.
So it doesn't take her long to find Ace and Control, and they wrestle again.
They really do.
And then Redvers and the Doctor show up.
Oh, we
And-
missed a good scene though.
Oh, what was that? Go ahead. We'll go.
Yeah, we missed a good scene between Ace and Control,
Uh-huh.
where it's basically Eliza Doolittle.
Oh, yeah.
The rain in Spain falls mainly in the plains.
But she doesn't say that. She says goes mainly down the drain.
And that's when Gwen interrupts and, ba, 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 ba.
So
But
yes,
yeah, Redfer gets Gwen off of Ace, and then the Doctor opens this locket and shows it to Gwen. It's like, oh, hey, take a look at this. What does this remind you of?
And it's a
And that
picture of
man,
her and her mother inside.
and that manages to snap her out of her thing. And the Doctor it's a pretty cold line in some respects. He's just like, I could forgive her for arranging those little trips to Java if she didn't enjoy them so much.
you say cold, I say he's being truthful.
That's true, but it's just like, ooh, damn.
It's kind of like the idea of hypnotism, that you can't be hypnotized to do something you wouldn't do naturally.
Well, I mean, this is also Doctor Who, and we've got the Master, so.
But that's my take on it. That murderous intent was always within her.
Well, here's the thing that I think the house kind of I had said something different before, but then I thought about it and this makes more sense. I think that all of the like the stuffed birds and animals and the bugs are all Gwendolyn's.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I'm
And one of the main things that people tell you to look out for in kids to see if they're going to be like I think it's psychopathic or maybe it's sociopath. I forget. It's one of the two.
Yeah.
Is if they start harming animals.
Mm-hmm.
She had to go and get all of those little bugs and stuff and stick them into the boards.
Oh,
I like that reading of it.
interesting.
So it could be that when she was brainwashed, her inhibitions were now gone.
Oh,
Very much
hey,
do that, yeah.
And looking at my notes, hey Rain.
Oh.
no.
Hey Rain. You know that bit, the rain in Spain falls mainly on the plane.
Down the drain, but yes.
Hey, yeah. Well, how do we
Yes, they
shoot
do it
Ace
in a mirror. There's a mirror there. There's a vanity with a mirror on it. We get it. Moving on now.
Doctor Who Maryland. Okay.
Fine.
Anyway, it's time for dinner.
Oh, is it ever time for dinner?
Don't have the soup.
Yeah, the Doctor just pulls Ace aside and says, "Don't have this."
So again, the Doctor knowing things he shouldn't know.
Yeah.
Which is definitely a problem throughout this whole story, but we'll find out what's going on with the soup a bit later on. So Josiah is having who is it? It's Redfer's, the Doctor, and Ace,
yeah,
and Mrs. Pritchard at dinner.
Oh, Mrs. Pritchard's not there.
No,
yes,
she is.
She is.
Yes, she is. Because
Nimrod's not there. Nimrod's not there.
Yeah. What he doesn't expect is that they also bring control with them.
Yeah, and he will not have that creature at his table.
And Redford is like, "That's no way to talk about a lady."
Yeah, so Reverend is standing up for her again. Basically, he says, well, she's my guest, so she stays. And Josiah, I think, to not upset the apple cart too much, just sort of backs down.
Yeah, he still needs him for the plan.
And then the Doctor is just like, "Oh, Lady Pritchard, by the way, check this out." And he shows her the locket, and that snaps her out of it.
Yes.
Yeah, and she runs off to go find Gwendolyn.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's going to have a
It's
payoff.
too bad what happens to them.
Let's talk about that
payoff.
scene. Let's talk about that scene.
Okay, so Gwendolyn is still distraught from coming to from her being controlled, if you will.
Yep.
And yeah, double irony now, that scene where Mrs. Pritchard was scolding Gwendolyn, saying, "Your mother will be ashamed of you." Oh dear.
Oops.
Now that's I kind of like that kind of foreshadowing. I think the story needs a bit more of that, rather than just this has happened off camera. But anyway, yeah, they have a really nice touching moment where they finally reunite, and Gwen says, "Mother, I thought I'd lost you." "Oh, you have, my dear. We all have."
Both lost. And then Light shows up.
Yeah, Light breaks up the happy reunion.
"You changed! How dare you change? Well, you're never going to change again." And then he just turns them into statues.
Yeah, and of this, I know who this guy is.
Oh, God.
Turning family members to stone.
Mhm.
Long monologues about evolution and change. He's Noah Kaiba!
Who?
Oh no!
Who?
Oh
He's Noah Kaiba from Yu-Gi-Oh!
no!
Oh, I never got to that season.
Oh, well, look at you!
That was certainly an arc.
For some reason, they broke up the tournament finals arc with this virtual world bit that lasted for far too many episodes.
Yeah, as soon as that came up, I immediately lost interest, and
And
I
it's
didn't
run
watch
by
any
Noah
of that.
Kaiba. To say anything else would be a spoiler, but it is unnecessary, should I say? Because it's never referred to
It's
again.
it's just a filler arc because oh shit, we're running out of time in the manga. You know, like how half the episodes of Sailor Moon are just Monster of the Week.
I don't
Yeah.
think this is in the manga. Is it in the manga? It might be in the manga, but
I highly doubt it.
Fuck if I know.
basically, we had 15 episodes to fill. Let's just come up with a whole bunch of convoluted
If
crap.
I remember correctly, Noah does look like episode 0 version of Kaiba, though, so
Yes.
maybe.
Yeah.
And to say anything more would be a huge spoiler, so I'm not going to go there.
Oh,
Yeah.
even Nimrod is like, yeah, you didn't have to do that.
They
never
never
did anything
harmed
to
you.
And Light is just like, I've decided the future of Earth.
Still using that
And then we
strange
get
voice.
to and then we get to a wonderful cut. They cut back to the doctor, and the doctor is just like, so Josiah, tell me about your plan to assassinate Queen Victoria.
Ace's reaction here is amazing.
What?
She does like a double take.
And you know, Josiah's all like, the British Empire's an anarchic mess. I'll bring order and prosperity. Ugh.
Now, where have I heard
He's
this
evolved
before?
into a perfect. He's evolved into a perfect Victorian gentleman, aka an asshole.
Pretty much.
So Redvers was invited to go see the Queen, and Josiah, you know, fucked with his head so that he would assassinate the Queen for him. But the intent was, you know, Josiah would be his guest. But now there's a refined lady who Redvers would rather take.
Yep.
So Control is going to be invited instead of Josiah.
And she's more than happy to be able to go, to the point where, as long as she can keep it away from Josiah, she doesn't even care. She throws that thing right into the fire.
But we do get
Unfortunately,
a big
This
reveal.
sets
Okay.
Ace off, yeah.
Go ahead, Rain.
Okay, so as Control is trying to keep the invite out of Josiah's hands, and then she goes, if you want it, no one can have it. She goes to throw it in the fire, and it's Ace that tries to stop her and says, no, Control, no, don't do that. If you do that, you're no better than me. When I burnt this place down in 1983. Wait, what?
Oh shit!
Ace stands for arsonist?
He burned
Hell
down.
yeah, it does.
She burned down Gabriel Chase when she was there in '83.
Yep.
Because she felt the evil of the place.
Yep.
And it spooked her. And so we also find out here, and again, was this referred to before? I don't know. That she was actually arrested for this, and she had a probation officer, and yeah, it's real.
I don't think that was mentioned before, but actually, 2 stories from now, in the final classic story, Survival, there's a guy who mentions this to Ace because they go back to Perivale, and he's just like, "Weren't you in trouble with the police? Got off with a warning?"
Yeah,
It's these days, something to that effect.
you're absolutely right. Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Control does burn the invite.
Yep.
And Josiah's all, no. Well,
And then guess who shows up to dinner?
it's Light,
Fuck.
and he brought your favorite, Inspector Soup.
Oh my god!
He turned the inspector into primordial soup.
My mind
Yeah,
broke.
we're not kidding.
My mind broke at this point.
And actually, this is one of the things that made Kat want to pick Ghostlight.
Yeah.
You
I'm
read the
sorry for that.
description. You read the description, and it's like, wait, a guy gets turned into soup? Oh, I gotta pick this shit.
And you didn't even know he was a racist at this point. So this is the scene that I thought I initially said, "Oh, I feel sorry for the inspector," but now you've told me about him. No, forget it.
Yeah.
Forget him. So he is soup. He is not just soup. He's primordial soup. The building blocks of the universe of life,
Yep.
which we had in City of Death.
Oh, hey, how about that? And Light, he's
That means the fourth Doctor essentially wipes some inspector on a detective.
Yes, he does.
Oh, jeez.
so Light he's fed up with this evolution bullshit, and he's just gonna cleanse the planet in a firestorm.
Yep.
So this is interesting. Before we get to how the Doctor stops Light, but the running theme of fire in this story. I mean, obviously you have Ace's backstory. She burned the house down. You have that whole thing with the fire with the invitation. Then you have
Burning
Light,
Man.
who's referred to as the burning one, and he's going to burn the planet down. So there's a lot of burning happening in the story as a sub-theme.
Yeah, and fire is associated with cavemen
Yeah.
as well. So there's a lot of thematic stuff going on with fire here, which I like.
So
And
that's
I might be wrong about this, but didn't mankind truly evolve the moment that we discovered fire?
Yes, the
Maybe.
Promethean myth.
Oh yeah.
But yes.
Hey, that yeah. Ooh. Good shit.
Yeah.
So the Doctor's stopping of Light from burning everything down
Is amazing.
He's just like, but you evolve too, Light. Change and adapt all the time. Your attitude, your place, your mind. Look at you now. You're not even your original shape anymore. And your catalog's full of gaps. What about the griffins, the basilisks, the dragons, the bandersnatches?
The Crown Sats Coburgs.
And the Doctor's just real sassy here,
Yeah, I love
taunting
this.
Light about change. He's just like, everything's changed. Have you just changed your location, Light? Not yet. What's wrong, Light? Did you change your mind? Will you never stop? I suppose I could. It would make a change.
This is amazing. So, usually in Doctor Who, the Doctor or another character foils the big baddie by doing something clever or just getting lucky or sacrificing themselves to stop them. Here, he just convinces the bad guy that his plan doesn't work, and it works.
Yep.
Well, more he just convinces the bad guy that he's just as bad.
Yeah. I love this so much.
And Light just sort of slowly drains the light from him. He starts turning pale. He's just like, no change, I won't change.
Overload, too many changes.
And the Doctor's wonderful line. Subject for catalog. File under imagination. Lack of.
Yeah, brilliant.
But also, oh hey, Light instigated that firestorm. Everything's gonna blow up. We've got to go down to the ship and do some bullshit and fix it.
Yeah, Nimrod turned on Light earlier for what he did to the maid and what he did to Mrs. Pritchard and Gwendolyn. So he's now with Control and Redfer's Ace and the Doctor.
They're
they all
down
rush
there.
to the spaceship to try and stop it from exploding.
Meanwhile, Josiah hasn't given it the plot yet, and he shows up with a revolver. And it's like, I'm not owned. I'm not owned.
As he slowly turns into a corn cob.
Ugh, jeez.
But he is owned in pretty quick succession.
So, go ahead.
Well, basically, Control casts magic missile and the husk blow up.
And somehow this destabilizes his evolution.
Yeah, the Doctor says, there goes the rungs on his I can't even say it, it's so weird. There goes the rungs on his evolutionary ladder.
And then he falls to his knees, and Control has like a fucking chain.
Slave chain, yeah.
That she wraps around Josiah's neck. Doctor Who said femdom.
That's terrible.
It's terrible, but it's also true.
We'll allow it.
So now Josiah's like unevolved.
Yeah, Josiah is Control now, and Control's in Josiah's place.
They've swapped.
They've swapped roles, which I like.
Yeah.
Well, they've
Again.
done more than swap because now Control, I'm just going to call him Fen Cooper because I can remember that, and Nimrod have actually become the new owners of the ship.
And they're gonna go off and explore the universe.
Yeah.
So they're taking off, and what I really like is that the ship doesn't it's not like a typical rocket ship where it's got to blast off. The Doctor and Ace head out into the tunnel, and Ace is like, "What about the ship? Oh, they're gone.
Yeah,
They
I like
travel at the
that.
speed of thought."
What I
Yep, they
don't
just
like,
turn around and there's nothing.
what I don't like is as they get back to the main part of the house, light is there dispersing for good, despite the fact he just dispersed for good.
Well, his body vanishes in lightning. It's a neat effect. It's fine.
Yeah, but I think that seems out of place.
Yeah. And so we get our ending, and light is gone, but his presence, his essence, I guess, lingers
Essentially, he
here.
disperses himself into the house itself.
Yeah, the house will remember.
Which is what, and this is what Ace senses in 1983.
And torched it.
One could also almost say there is a monster in the house. A monster house, if you will.
Hey.
Nice.
And so the doctor asks Ace if she had any regrets. And Ace says, "Yeah. I wish I'd blown it up instead." And then the doctor gets a wonderful, and this is an ad-lib. Originally the line was, "That's my girl," but Sylvester McCoy ad-libbed and he says, "Wicked."
Yeah, good choice, because he don't use "That's my girl."
And that's Ghostlight.
Ha!
You know what?
Yeah.
Brainiac,
What?
you go first.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'll try and go first.
Well, hang on. Before we actually go into our thoughts and stuff like that,
Uh-huh.
I did go ahead and I looked up some stuff about the novelization.
Okay.
Because,
Yeah.
like I said last time, apparently the actors had to actually go and read the novelization to understand what was going on.
I don't blame them.
Now, I haven't actually read it myself, but I have a list here of things that are different in the novel from the actual televised story.
Yeah.
This is a list from Tardis Wiki, so I can't promise that it'll be exact, but it's at the very least it's something that we can add on. So apparently, there was an extra opening sequence detailing Ace's visit to Gabriel Chase the first time, and the doctor going there. It's established that Matthew saw Josiah and Gwendolyn in London, and came to Gabriel Chase because he wants to save her innocence.
Okay.
Which is gross. Whatever version of that he means. It also has several scenes that are not in the televised version because they were scripted or they were cut, whichever it might be. Ace tipping Josiah off by tampering with the telephone, and the doctor saying they had to leave the house and be invited back in. The doctor playing a boogie woogie on the piano. Gwendolyn visiting Redver's. Mackenzie trying to leave the house and being stopped by Light, who causes the front door to become immovably locked. Miss Pritchard telling two maids, one of whom is armed with a machete, to dispose of Mackenzie, which includes a scene where the maid chases the inspector down the hallway, and that's how he gets into the room where Light is and then gets turned into primordial soup. And then Nimrod handing in his notice to Josiah. They also explained that Josiah liked to have the Times newspaper delivered to Control as a taunt, since she won't understand it. Ace actually finds cave paintings in the passage leading to the stone spaceship. So I assume that Nimrod's more likely the one who did those.
Probably.
Ace sees Control on her first visit to the spaceship. Mrs. Gross also sees her and tells the doctor she's resigning. It is explained that Mrs. Pritchard tricked Redvers into wandering into Light's spaceship, which caused his insanity.
Okay, that makes sense.
When Light emerges from the lift, the original idea and what was put in the book is that he would go straight through the doctor. They just weren't able to pull it off on screen. And apparently at some point during this night, Light also travels around the world looking at all the different life forms. So it's not just I took apart this maid and I'm unhappy now. he actually goes around and comes back and decides what he's going to do.
That makes a lot more sense.
Here it also says that Josiah is the one who brought the ship back to Earth while Light was asleep. And a little bit of a funny one, Control says that she's going to get Josiah some better quarters rather than having him inside the same room she was locked in. And there's also a lot of insight into the Doctor's mental processes, better explaining his motivation at various points, although it does not list exactly which ones that would be. So there was a lot that they put into the book, which I assume they only put in because it's a written medium and they don't really have visuals that they can give to you in order to help explain these things. But I'm hoping that there's something showing this in the actual serial itself, because if any of these things were left out, like some of the cut scenes were, then, that's a little bit of a whoopsie on their part.
I may have to fire the Blu-ray up again and check the deleted scenes if they're on there, just to see what's there.
Okay, now can I go?
I suppose.
You're too kind. So, I just want to say off the bat here that throughout my years of watching Doctor Who, stories and episodes have elicited many emotions from me. It's elicited anger, disappointment, joy, sadness, jubilation. This is the first time I think I've watched a Doctor Who story, and the end emotion has been utter confusion. I finished watching this, and I just had to sit in silence and just take in what I watched. My brain just couldn't process it, and I'm grateful to Kat just then for listing the things from the novelisation, and to both of you as we talk it through. I'm getting more of a grip of it now. I think I understand it better now, because we explained, we gave a possible explanation for the maids and Gwendolyn, and did we explain why those sheets were covering everybody?
Yeah, because more than likely, because they had the day crew coming in, they just covered themselves up so that the day crew wouldn't be like, why are they just sitting here doing nothing?
They were hiding them, gotcha. And that's why the maids were hiding behind the wall as well. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But did I enjoy it? Yeah, I think on the whole I probably did. It is completely unique to any story I've seen so far. The closest thing I would compare it to is actually a Big Finish story. A wonderful tale called The Chimes of Midnight, which is an 8th Doctor story, which I think I've mentioned before on here.
That's a good story.
It's just won the poll for being the best 8th Doctor Big Finish audio.
Oh.
I mean, it's definitely up there. It's by Robert Shearman, writer of Dalek, the Eccles story.
It is fantastic. It's one of those things where I wanted to see how they would have done it on TV. It would have been amazing. I can't go into why it's so amazing, but I will say that Gabriel Chase and the building that Chimes of Midnight is set in have some similarities, and I'll leave it at that. Because I do not want to spoil the Chimes at Midnight. Go listen to that. It is wonderful.
It's very good.
I think it's actually free on Spotify in many, many parts, but I think it's free on Spotify. A lot of Big Finish's early works are.
Well, if it is, we should drop a link to it.
I will do that. I'll drop a link to part 1, and then the rest of it will. There's a big playlist on Spotify of all the free Big Finish works, and it stretches to like thousands and thousands of entries. So it's tucked away in there, but it is brilliant. But this is also. Yeah, I think I did enjoy it despite the confusion. There aren't very many likeable characters. Gwendolyn's a psychopath. Mrs. Pritchard is a bitch. The Inspector's a racist. Josiah's a raving lunatic. The only two that I think have got any kind of sympathy to them are Redfer and Control. And also Nimrod. Nimrod's alright. He's not too bad. He's manipulated by Light. Light is a very strange villain. Very strange indeed.
But also led to some horrifying moments for you.
Oh, some truly horrifying moments. I'm glad I didn't watch this on Halloween night. Jesus.
So,
Oh,
while we're on the topic of light, would you like to hear something that I just found out?
Well,
go ahead.
I'm done with my summing up, so please go ahead.
So, Frez, what was the other name that they had for light?
The burning one?
Um, wouldn't you say that a burning one could also be a burning man?
Yeah.
Yes.
Light was played by John Hallam. John
Uh-huh.
Hallam was in the original Wicker Man.
Oh, good casting.
Oh, that's cute.
Good casting.
He played one of the officers. I think he is just a very small part in the beginning, but it's still quite funny.
It still counts.
Turning turning me into primordial soup won't bring back your goddamned honey.
He was also in a movie called Dragon Slayer.
So you're all done with your thoughts, right?
I am. Yeah. You mentioned casting. Actually, I don't know if we mentioned this earlier, but it might have been in one of the failed takes earlier. But Josiah was nearly played by Michael Caine, I think you said,
Yep,
Yeah.
and Control was nearly played by Emma Thompson.
yep,
That would have been
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. So, Ghostlight. It is, of course, brilliant. It is also very dense and has the meme of being confusing, but I think with a little creativity and watching it maybe once or twice, you can figure out what the hell you're doing if you even if you go into it analyzing it or talking about it with other people like me. What we have is a story that has the big theme of creationism versus evolution, and it both starts with and the way it does this is interesting. I've referred to it in my writing as macrocosm, microcosm. Small scale and big scale. So you've got the Reverend, who's against evolution because it goes against God, and then you have a godlike being against evolution because it's fucking with his catalog. And so the story eventually falls on the side of evolution because we all change. And, evolution is real, so you've got to deal with it. But I like that aspect of the story. I like the thematic element of fire that it plays with it. I like all the other fun little things. It really makes you think. You got to figure out, okay, why is this here? Why is that here? What is it saying when it does that? What is it saying when it does that? It's a story that makes you think. And I like that. I like that about my Doctor Who, and I like that in my media as well. And I like Ghostlight. And it's my favorite classic Doctor, so Ghostlight is a very, very good story, and I'm glad we got to talk about it. Kat, go ahead.
I'm honestly not sure how to feel about this one. I mean, I don't hate it, but I'm also not entirely sure that I really like it all that much. There's some very mean moments in it, specifically stuff like the poor maid. Well, both of them. Um, and having to essentially figure out the story once you have finished, getting to part 3 and everything. I'm not a huge fan of that. I'd like it to be, sprinkled all throughout the entire thing rather than you get everything all at once at the end. That seems a bit, a bit much for me. If you're going to have a story like that, it has to be built around that specific format for it to be able to work. So, I had fun with this. It was interesting. There were some random moments that, we all laughed at, Control going out the window and all the good stuff. The doctor really made me happy because he was referencing some creatures from the Jabberwocky poem, and they used the costumes from an Alice in Wonderland play apparently for the husks, and I'm happy about that. But otherwise, I'm just not sure how to feel about this one at all.
Fair. I wasn't quite sure how to feel about it until we started talking about it. Really,
I mean, I've seen it a few times, so I've kind of
my first
vibed
time
with it.
seeing it. I may have seen a little bit of clips here and there, but other than that, first time seeing it.
It's just
So,
one of those things where it feels almost off to me. And I don't know if that's just because of how close it is to Curse of Fenric, or if that's just because I think this was one of the last serials filmed. Quite a
Actually, yeah, fun fact, this is the last classic Doctor Who story ever produced.
Yeah, but not aired.
because Curse of
Not
Fenric
aired.
and Survival were filmed before this.
Yeah. They were filmed before this, but they air after.
Yeah.
Which makes that one ending scene of Survival even more strange in hindsight, but
Well, yeah.
they must have known they were
I
being
wouldn't know.
cancelled at that point, unfortunately.
Maybe I think they just put that in at the last minute because they're like, oh shit.
Yeah. It's a bit like the ending scene of Sarah Jane Adventures, because unfortunately Liz Sladen died.
Rest in peace.
So they had to change that at the last minute, and they did a rather good job of it. They had her basically just narrating over clips of the show from before, and they did a good job of you not thinking, well, something's obviously wrong here. Oh yeah, of course she's died.
Right.
But I did not know this was the last one produced.
It sure was.
Well, they did a good job, even if it was ending. If it was coming to an end, they did a good job.
Yeah. Maybe
Oh,
that's why it just feels so off to me.
It could be.
I
So,
don't know.
I believe that it's your turn next week, Jerry.
It is. Yes. And I would like to make a request, if I may.
Oh.
Oh,
This is a little unconventional as far as Doctor Who reviews goes, but frankly,
We are unconventional.
I want a mulligan, if you will. So our rule for these classic things has been we don't do anything before the Capaldi era, because the Capaldi era is what we started doing this thing with. We started covering. So, and those are good podcasts. I can look back on most of them fondly. But there's one podcast I do not. And it's on me, not on any of you. Do you
Okay.
remember? So there was a podcast.
I know
we
where this
did,
is going.
and, yeah, this is going places. I'm going to be honest and a little real here. There was a podcast we did, and I was suffering a bit of an anxiety meltdown, and I was actually really pretty down and quiet, and didn't offer much input on the story. I was just really kind of like, I don't have anything to say, so I'm just gonna let you guys talk about it. I was kind of like that.
I remember.
Yeah, you remember the story?
Oh yes. Do you want me to say it?
I'll say it, but I just want to ask, can we have a do-over? Because
We
I
can
look back on
absolutely
that,
have a do-over if that's what you want to
Absolutely
do.
can.
because I thought of it, and I was like, I don't remember that fondly, and it's a shame because I think those are great episodes, and I would like to talk about those episodes. I would like to talk about what I love about those stories, these stories, because it's a two-parter in the Capaldi era. I want a do-over. I want another shot at it. I want to talk about what I love about them and how they made me feel, and make a good memory out of those stories. So, with your blessing, next time on Doctor Who Reviews, Peter Capaldi and Jenna Coleman in Dark Water and Death in Heaven.
Yes. Okay. So what we'll do here is, I'm not going to remove the original podcasts.
I was never going to ask you to do it.
What I will do is I will tag this as second opinion,
That's fine.
and we'll do both of the stories in one podcast as well.
Yeah.
So it's
Yep.
different.
Yeah. Because it's not a on-airing thing. It's a here we are 7 years later. Good God, talking about it.
And I also want to make absolutely certain this is not a dunk on Kachiri.
No, this is on me. I have anxiety over my anxiety, and I regret, not saying, "Hey, I'm feeling bad. We should call it," because I was very much in a show must go on mentality. I
Yeah.
remember, and I regret that. So I want to George Lucas this shit and do it again.
Absolutely.
I'm fine with that.
Dibs on playing young Anakin.
I respect your your reasons for asking for this particular story. I would like to say that we shouldn't do this very often.
No. I mean, we're not going to make it a big thing. Like, I just have very personal reasons for wanting to get my real thoughts out on this.
Yeah,
No, yeah, absolutely.
I absolutely understand that.
Yeah.
Oh no, we gotta talk about Danny Pink again.
So this is like there's not. I don't think there's any other Capaldi story that I feel really like I fucked up the show on. Because all the other Capaldi era podcasts, in memory, like I'm pretty good on. It's just this one is like.
If memory serves, you were fine on Darkwater, but Death in Heaven, you were really out of it.
That's the one, Death in Heaven.
And I think I think I had to contact you after it said, "Are you okay? Are you feeling okay?"
I really was.
And it emerged you were not in a good place. So
yeah,
we will happily do that one over.
yeah.
It doesn't hurt. It's a fantastic story as well.
It is.
Yeah.
Darkwater is one of my favorites.
It'll be nice to watch something modern that's actually good for once.
Also, I love the fact how I preempted this by calling you Missy.
True.
And I had no idea. I had no idea you were going to pick this.
We get to watch Misty again.
We do.
Oh, this is the best day ever.
We get to watch Clara and Osgood and Kate and
Yay!
Capaldi being badass.
Yay! I'm all for this.
Look. Okay, I'm gonna say, Sylvester McCoy is my favorite classic Doctor. Peter Capaldi, my favorite Doctor. Period.
I'm leaning more towards McCoy now. When I started watching, it was Tom Baker, and I still love Tom Baker unconditionally. But the more we do these, the more I watch these back, I'm starting to think you might have a point with McCoy.
You guys could probably guess mine. So
yeah, and that's absolutely valid.
Yeah.
So shall I do the endorsements and the shout outs?
Go wild.
Okay.
let's do it.
So you can find us on Twitter at ReviewsDoctor. You can find Frezno at Freezing Inferno, Cat at Conclave Usurper, and why would you want to? But you can find me at Reniac the Maniac, all on Twitter.com. If you'd like to write us an email, send us an email. You can send that to goexterminateyourself@gmail.com. And thank you to Kat and Jerry for talking to me and actually helping me understand Ghostlight. Thank you to you, the audience, for hearing us. I think a very long. I mean, there were a few cuts because things happened. I'm just going to go peek behind the curtain here. A few things happened that required like stop starts. But
this is cursed. This episode was cursed.
We took a deep dive into this, and I'm very glad that we did. It required a deep dive just for me to kind of parse what happened in it.
Mm-hmm.
I go away from this feeling, again, no pun intended, more enlightened about the story. I said no pun intended. I said that somehow magically absolves me from it. Guess what? It doesn't. So, join us next time when we do a first here on Doctor Who Reviews. We take another look at a story we've already covered. Join us next time for the double bill of Darkwater and Death in Heaven and Frezno getting his redemption.
Thank you very much for agreeing to this on short notice.
Absolutely.
I love the idea. I don't want to do it too often, I just love the idea.
Oh, yeah.
And on that
Does
bombshell
that
of
mean that I
mutual
could
agreement,
choose for us to redo Force of the Night so I can get even more mad at it?
I wouldn't recommend that.
I mean, it's
Say it
not
like you have a choice.
Yeah, but you were mad at that, but you didn't like go into a depressive episode off the back of it.
We can redo Kill the Moon so Radiac can yell at it.
Oh yes, because I was ill for that one. We'll see you next time for Dark War and Death in Heaven. Until then, bye for now.
As long as we don't have to redo Time as Children, because I was definitely in a depressive episode for that one.
Until then, bye for now.
Happy Pride, everybody!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Doctor Who... Oh, for fuck's sake. If my voice could stop going through puberty, that would be greatly appreciated.
The Doctor Who Reviews! I'm sorry. It's just...
Damn
Yeah,
biscuits.
guys, we need to get this together.
Damn biscuits. Me.
You're that guy from The Simpsons. Oh, sorry, sir. Welcome to Doctor Reviews. Your taco phone deep fryer. Let me get it for you. Oh, oh.
The spotty faced teen? What?
Hi,
Yeah,
blooper
that's what I thought
reel.
of.
Hi, blooper reel.
Oh,
We're
hi,
definitely
blooper
going in.
reel. Ah,
That sounds like Shaggy from Scooby Doo.
zoinks! Oh my god. Oh my. Okay, but okay. I'm gonna pitch this to you. Ghostlight, but the mystery gang are also there.
Oh, jeez.
Big
Um,
finish!
It's Josiah. Boy, dude, total monster husk. Ah!
Oh my god. Well, the episode was kind of about a curse, and now the podcast is cursed. Great. Right off the bat with this one, it gets creepy because we have
anyways.
this creepy old house that we open on. It's like real atmosphere, and then we have this creepy woman in black
Just
and this
something
maid,
happened.
and she's got this
Hello?
dinner tray. Yeah, I'm here.
Hello? Can anybody hear me?
I'm here. Yeah.
What's going on? Did I crash now?
No, you're still here.
Oh, no, it's me. I can't hear you guys at all.
This is cursed.
Um,
Um,
well, my voice thing came back up. Huh. Let me try disconnecting and reconnecting. It is cursed. Hang on.
I can't hear Jerry either.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
Is it working again?
Hello?
Hello?
I can hear you guys. Yay.
What the hell is going on?
That was so scary. I think something seriously is trying to stop us from going over Ghostlight. This is actually cursed, and I'm a little worried now.
Hello, God?
It's me, Margaret. Please stop.
I'm just thinking of that clip from one of Ray Navarro Jr.'s streams. I think he's playing like Grand Theft Auto 5 and then somebody just hits the bumper of his car from nowhere. He goes, hello? Hello? God? Is that you?
I'm just going to sit here and slowly cuddle my little Shiba Inu plush toy and
Can you hear us, Jerry?
hope we don't
Yeah,
die.
I can.
Oh,
That's
God,
that.
for that.
Also, that's adorable. Yeah, so
Right,
let's
I'll go
the
from the
last thing
top
I
of
heard
it.
was
Creepy
the
house.
last thing I said was let's talk about Ghostlight, and then it went boop, boop,
Right.
boop, boop.
I've got this.
Okay.
3.
I'm putting a ban right now on saying the name of the actual episode because that seems to be what triggers it.
Speak not the name of the Scottish cereal.
Oh, it's like that one play,
That's the joke, yeah, but don't say it.
The Tempest.
No! How could you?
Part 3.
Part 3.
Part 3. That was fast. Did you
Jeff
watch it?
Bezos is going to space. Oh, can we leave him there?
Please.
Hi, blooper reel. By the way, I'm sorry. I just had Twitter up and I looked, and this was trending.
Did you wash your hands? That was
Yes.
fast. Okay.
Is he specifically... Don't shame him for his toilet hygiene.
No, that's valid.
It's COVID. Wash your hands.
I know. So, is he specifically going to space, or does it mean that Amazon's going to space?
No, Jeff Bezos is going to space in a rocket.
So, how much?
He's
would it
escaping
be
to the one place
go
not
to
corrupted by
where-
capitalism.
So how much do you think it would be to bribe somebody to put one less oxygen tank on there? Just curious.
Part 3, then.
Hi, NSA.
Part
I wonder.
three,
I
then.
wonder. I sure hope Bezos's rockets are better than Elon Musk's.
Yes. And to this day, that car is still spinning out in space.
No, I mean all the rockets that he's launched and have just come right back down to Earth and fucking exploded.
I know. It's Kerbal Space Program all over again.
Part 3.
Part 3, then.
2, 1.